Prepare to embark on an extraordinary journey through time, a voyage that will pull back the curtain on some of the world's most compelling historical mysteries. Picture this: colossal stones erected by hands unknown, forming structures so vast and complex they defy our modern understanding of ancient engineering. Imagine entire cities, once bustling with life and vibrant cultures, now silently swallowed by the earth, leaving behind only whispers of their former glory. These are not just forgotten places, they are the 30 most mysterious ruins that stand as enduring testaments to forgotten civilizations, unexplainable phenomena, and riddles that have baffled historians and archaeologists for centuries. Each ruin offers a glimpse into a past that is both awe-inspiring and deeply perplexing, inviting us to question everything we thought we knew about human history. As we delve into the heart of these enigmatic locations, we will uncover the captivating stories that echo through their crumbling walls, peel back the layers of archaeological debates that swirl around their origins, and confront the baffling theories that attempt to explain their existence. From the remote corners of windswept islands to the hidden depths of dense jungles, we will leave no stone unturned in our quest to understand what once was. What forces compelled ancient peoples to create such monumental structures, often with technologies that seem impossible for their time? What cataclysms or slow decays led to their abandonment, leaving them to become mere shadows of their former selves? The answers, as you will soon discover, are often more complex and intriguing than any fiction, challenging our perceptions of human ingenuity, resilience, and perhaps even our place in the grand tapestry of time. So, get ready to have your mind blown as we explore the remnants of a past that continues to defy easy explanation. This isn't just a historical tour. It's an invitation to ponder the profound questions that these silent guardians pose, to marvel at the sheer ambition of ancient builders, and to connect with the deep human impulse to create, to believe, and to leave a lasting mark upon the world. Each ruin we encounter is a puzzle piece in a much larger, global mystery, urging us to consider the possibilities beyond conventional narratives and to embrace the wonder of what remains unknown. Let the journey begin into the heart of history's deepest enigmas. Our journey begins in southeastern Turkey at a place called Göbekli Tepe, a site that has completely rewritten the timeline of human civilization as we knew it. Discovered in 1994, this pre-pottery Neolithic sanctuary dates back to around 9,600 to 9,400 BC. To put that into perspective, Göbekli Tepe is thousands of years older than Stonehenge and the Egyptian pyramids. Imagine that for a moment, structures built by people living more than 7,000 years before the pyramids of Giza even began to take shape. This isn't just an old site, it's a monumental complex featuring massive T-shaped pillars, some of which weigh up to 60 tons. These colossal stones aren't just stacked, they are intricately carved with abstract symbols and detailed animal reliefs, depicting everything from wild boars and foxes to snakes and cranes. The sheer scale and artistic sophistication of these carvings are breathtaking, especially when you consider the builders. What makes Göbekli Tepe so profoundly mysterious is the fact that it was constructed by hunter-gatherers. This single detail flies in the face of a long-held archaeological belief that complex structures, organized religion, and societal hierarchies only emerged with the advent of agriculture and the development of settled communities. For decades, the prevailing wisdom was that you needed a surplus of food, a stable population, and specialized labor to undertake projects of this magnitude. Göbekli Tepe completely upends that notion, suggesting that perhaps the desire for communal ritual and spiritual expression predated the agricultural revolution. So, how did these hunter-gatherers manage to quarry, transport, and erect 60-ton pillars without modern tools, domesticated animals, or even the wheel? The methods they employed remain a subject of intense debate and speculation. Some theories suggest they used a combination of leverage, ramps, and sheer human muscle. Others propose more advanced, yet still unknown, techniques. Beyond the construction methods, the purpose of Göbekli Tepe sparks even more questions. While it clearly served as a ceremonial or ritualistic center, its precise function is still being pieced together. Was it a temple, a pilgrimage site, or perhaps a place for sky watching? Researchers have identified sophisticated astronomical alignments within the layout of the pillars, suggesting a deep understanding of the cosmos among its ancient builders. This adds another layer of complexity to these seemingly primitive people, hinting at a nuanced worldview that incorporated celestial observations into their spiritual practices. Then there's the most perplexing fact of all. Around 8000 BC, roughly 1,500 years after its construction began, Göbekli Tepe was deliberately buried. Not gradually covered by sand and time, but intentionally filled in and covered over with earth. Why would a community go to such immense effort to inter such a significant site? Was it to protect it from an approaching threat, to preserve it for future generations, or perhaps to mark the end of an era or a belief system? This intentional burial sealed the ruins, preserving their secrets for millennia, allowing them to remain virtually untouched until their discovery in the late 20th century. This act of deliberate burial poses a profound puzzle, forcing us to consider the motivations and beliefs of these ancient people who invested so much into building this site, only to then painstakingly conceal it. It's almost as if they wanted to ensure its legacy, yet keep its immediate knowledge out of circulation, leaving it for us to ponder thousands of years later. Our journey now shifts to the arid plains of Peru, where the Nazca Lines offer a totally different kind of ancient enigma. Soaring high above the desert floor, these colossal geoglyphs etched into the landscape are one of archaeology's most enduring puzzles. They were created by the ancient Nazca culture between 500 BC and 500 CE, and what they left behind are massive depictions of animals, plants, otherworldly geometric shapes, and abstract designs, some stretching for hundreds of meters across the desert. The sheer scale of these drawings is mind-boggling, especially considering many of them can only be fully appreciated from an aerial perspective. Imagine creating something so vast and intricate that its true form only becomes clear when you are high above the ground looking down. This immediately begs the question, how did a culture without the benefit of flight manage to achieve such remarkable precision? The Nazca people had no hot air balloons, no airplanes, yet they managed to lay out these complex patterns with an almost incredible accuracy. One of the most widely accepted theories suggests they used a sophisticated system of stakes and cords, possibly along with observations of celestial bodies, to scale up their designs from smaller drawings. It's thought that a central pole might have been used as a pivot point, with ropes of specific lengths extended to mark arcs and straight lines. This method, while ingenious, still requires an almost unbelievable level of coordination, planning, and meticulous execution over vast distances. How they maintained perfect straight lines for miles or created perfectly symmetrical figures without any elevated vantage point remains a subject of intense academic debate. Some researchers have even experimented with these ancient techniques, demonstrating that it is theoretically possible, but the effort involved would have been colossal. So, why did they create them? The purpose of the Nazca Lines sparks even more theories. One popular idea is that they served as a colossal astronomical calendar, with certain lines aligning with the rising and setting points of important stars, the sun or the moon, marking solstices and equinoxes. This would have been crucial for an agricultural society relying on predictable seasonal changes. Another compelling theory suggests they were ritualistic pathways used for religious ceremonies or processions. Perhaps the act of walking these lines, which span vast distances, was part of a spiritual journey or pilgrimage, connecting the people with their deities and the natural world. Less conventional but equally fascinating is the possibility that some lines relate to water sourcing. In such an arid region, water was paramount, and some researchers propose that specific geoglyphs might point to underground water sources or relate to rituals intended to bring rain. This idea highlights the deep connection between the Nazca people and their environment, where survival depended on understanding and harnessing the scarce resources available. The animal figures, like the hummingbird or the monkey, might have represented different aspects of fertility or prayers for water. Then there are the more outlandish theories, often popularized by ancient astronaut theorists, who suggest the lines were landing strips or communication signals for extraterrestrial visitors. While these ideas lack scientific evidence, they do highlight the profound mystery surrounding the Nazca Lines and our human desire to find extraordinary explanations for truly extraordinary phenomena. Ultimately, the Nazca Lines force us to confront the limits of our understanding about ancient civilizations. They demonstrate an advanced understanding of geometry, a profound connection to their environment, and a cultural drive to create something on a scale that few civilizations have matched, all without the aid of modern technology. They remain a silent testament to an ingenious yet deeply enigmatic people whose true motivations are still etched into the desert, waiting to be fully deciphered. From the enigmatic lines etched into the Peruvian desert, our journey now transports us across continents to the verdant plains of England, where the colossal stones of Stonehenge stand as an enduring monument to ancient ingenuity and mystery. Nestled on Salisbury Plain, this globally recognized icon has captivated humanity for centuries, its massive sarsen and bluestone megaliths offering a silent challenge to our modern understanding of prehistoric capabilities. Constructed in several phases between 3000 BC and 2000 BC, Stonehenge predates many of the world's other great wonders, placing it firmly in an era when technological limitations should have made such a feat impossible. The sheer scale of the engineering required to build Stonehenge is staggering. Consider for a moment the bluestones, smaller in comparison to the sarsens, yet still weighing up to 4 tons each. These particular stones were quarried from the Preseli Hills in Wales, a staggering 150 miles away. How did the ancient builders transport these multi-ton rocks over such vast distances, across varied terrain, including rivers and potentially even by sea? Theories abound, from rafts painstakingly navigated along coastlines and rivers to sledges dragged over land by immense teams of people, or even the more speculative idea of glacial movement depositing some of the stones. Each proposed method highlights the incredible determination and sophisticated planning of the people responsible. Then there are the even larger sarsen stones, some weighing up to 50 tons, which were sourced from the Marlborough Downs about 20 miles to the north. Moving these monumental blocks, shaping them, and then precisely erecting them into their iconic configuration represents an astonishing triumph of ancient engineering, made all the more astonishing by the absence of the wheel or advanced tools typically associated with such construction. Beyond the raw physical effort, the astronomical alignments of Stonehenge hint at a profound scientific and spiritual understanding held by its creators. The most famous alignment is undoubtedly with the summer solstice sunrise, which on that longest day of the year perfectly illuminates the monumental heel stone from within the center of the monument. This precise alignment, along with others that correspond to lunar cycles and potentially other celestial events, suggests that Stonehenge was far more than just a random collection of stones. It implies a deep knowledge of the cosmos, an ability to track celestial movements over long periods, and an intention to create a structure that mirrored the heavens. Was it a giant astronomical calendar, a tool for predicting planting and harvesting seasons, or perhaps a sacred space for observing and celebrating cosmic rhythms? The precision involved in these alignments truly sets Stonehenge apart, elevating it from a mere structure to a highly sophisticated ancient observatory. As for its ultimate purpose, archaeologists and historians have proposed numerous theories, each attempting to unravel the monument's enduring enigma. One prevailing idea suggests Stonehenge functioned as a temple dedicated to the sun, a place where people gathered for rituals and ceremonies tied to the movements of the sun and seasons. Another intriguing theory posits it was a healing center, with the blue stones in particular believed to possess medicinal properties that attracted pilgrims seeking cures for ailments. The presence of numerous burials around the site has also led some to propose that it served as a vast burial ground for elite individuals, or a necropolis, a place of connection between the living and the dead. Some even suggest it was a giant acoustic device designed to amplify sounds or create specific auditory experiences during ceremonies. Less conventional, yet equally compelling, is the idea that Stonehenge functioned as a giant calculator, a complex stone computer used for tracking time, predicting eclipses, or even for more abstract mathematical purposes. Despite countless years of research, excavations, and technological analysis, the true purpose of Stonehenge remains one of archaeology's most persistent and captivating questions, leaving us to wonder about the beliefs, rituals, and daily lives of the people who dedicated so much to its creation. From the open skies above Stonehenge, our journey takes a dramatic dive into the mysterious depths of the Pacific Ocean, specifically off the coast of Yonaguni Island in Japan, where a colossal submerged structure known as the Yonaguni Monument has ignited one of archaeology's most heated and fascinating debates. Discovered serendipitously in 1986 by a local diver, this underwater enigma has been captivating the imagination of researchers and enthusiasts alike, challenging our perceptions of ancient civilizations and the geological forces that shape our planet. At first glance, what appears beneath the waves is a series of massive flat terraces, sharp 90-degree angles, and perfectly straight walls, reminiscent of an ancient city or a monumental pyramid swallowed by the sea. The visual evidence is undeniably compelling. Divers consistently report seeing features that seem almost too precise, too geometric to be purely natural. There are what appear to be intricate stair-like formations, perfectly cut right angles, massive stepped platforms, and even what some interpret as carved animal figures, including a controversial turtle stone and a large carved head. One of the most striking features is a huge, perfectly triangular depression, and nearby, what looks like a series of parallel lines and grooves that could easily be mistaken for ancient quarry marks. Scientists who argue for its artificial origin point to these consistent patterns and symmetries, suggesting that such regular formations are highly unlikely to occur naturally through erosion or tectonic activity alone. They propose that it could be the ruins of a pre-glacial civilization, potentially submerged during the last ice age when sea levels were significantly lower. This would mean the structure could be at least 10,000 years old, pushing back the timeline of advanced human construction far beyond conventional understanding. However, the opposition is equally firm and articulate. Many geologists and oceanographers contend that the Yonaguni Monument is in fact a spectacular example of natural geological formations, sculpted over millennia by powerful ocean currents, seismic activity, and the relentless forces of erosion. They argue that the rock type, primarily sandstone, is prone to fracturing along straight lines and at right angles, creating formations that mimic human construction. Furthermore, phenomena like natural jointing and faulting in the bedrock can produce remarkably regular patterns. They highlight similar, albeit smaller, natural formations found elsewhere in the region, suggesting that the Yonaguni structure is simply a grander, more dramatic version of these natural processes. The turtle stone and other apparent carvings, they suggest, are merely pareidolia, our human tendency to see familiar shapes in random patterns, or natural weathering effects. For these scientists, the lack of definitive tool marks pottery, or other clear evidence of human habitation within or around the structure makes it difficult to definitively classify as man-made. The debate goes beyond mere academic curiosity, touching on fundamental questions about the course of human history. If the Yonaguni Monument is indeed artificial, it would force a radical re-evaluation of when and where complex civilizations emerged, potentially pushing back their origins by thousands of years and challenging established archaeological timelines. It would also ignite speculation about lost continents and forgotten technologies that allowed ancient people to construct such monumental structures. Conversely, if it is purely natural, it serves as a powerful testament to the incredible artistic power of nature, capable of sculpting forms so precise they can fool the most discerning human eye. The very ambiguity of the Yonaguni Monument is what makes it so captivating. It sits squarely in that tantalizing space between human endeavor and natural artistry, inviting us to ponder the limits of both. Whether a lost city or a geological masterpiece, it remains a profound mystery, its secrets guarded by the ocean depths, continually challenging our understanding of the ancient world. From the enigmas of the deep sea, our exploration of humanity's most baffling ancient sites takes us high into the Andean Altiplano of Bolivia, to the truly extraordinary ruins of Pumapunku. Adjacent to the much larger Tiwanaku complex, Pumapunku stands as a testament to an almost unbelievable level of ancient engineering, baffling archaeologists and captivating conspiracy theorists alike. This site, believed to have been constructed by the Tiwanaku culture around 500 to 600 CE, features stonework so incredibly precise, so unlike anything else from its period, that it challenges nearly every conventional idea about ancient Andean capabilities. What immediately strikes you about Pumapunku are its colossal building blocks, some weighing over 100 tons, carved from red sandstone and andesite. But it's not just their size that's astonishing, it's the unparalleled precision of their cutting. Imagine stones with perfect right angles, laser-straight edges, and surfaces so smooth they appear to have been polished. Many of these blocks feature intricate notches, grooves, and complex H-shaped blocks that interlock with a seemingly mechanical precision, as if designed to be assembled like a giant, ancient puzzle. These interconnections are so exact that, even without mortar, they would have fit together almost seamlessly. This level of craftsmanship, particularly on materials as hard as andesite, seems to require tools and techniques far beyond what archaeologists typically attribute to a pre-Columbian civilization. We're talking about cuts and drills that appear to have been made with diamond-tipped tools or something equally hard, leaving behind perfect angles and flat planes that modern stonemasons would struggle to replicate without industrial machinery. The mystery deepens when we consider how these massive stones, some quarried from miles away, were transported to the site and then precisely manipulated into place. The Tiwanaku people are not known to have used the wheel for transport, nor did they possess iron tools. How, then, did they manage to carve such intricate features into incredibly hard rock and then lift and position these multi-ton blocks with such remarkable accuracy? This question has led to numerous speculative theories. Some propose the use of highly advanced yet undiscovered ancient technologies, perhaps a form of sonic levitation or a method of softening stone that has been lost to time. Others suggest pre-Columbian contact with civilizations possessing superior engineering knowledge, or even, in more fringe theories, extraterrestrial assistance. While these ideas lack concrete archaeological evidence, they highlight the profound difficulty in explaining Pumapunku solely within the known technological framework of the period. The precision is simply too extreme, the logistical challenges too immense to easily dismiss. Adding layers to the enigma is the current state of the ruins. The massive stones of Pumapunku lie scattered across the landscape as if an immense, violent force ripped the structures apart. This isn't the slow decay of time or gradual dismantling by human hands. It appears to be the result of a catastrophic event. Was it a massive earthquake, a cataclysmic flood, or something else entirely? Geologists have studied the site and found evidence of significant seismic activity, but some argue that an earthquake alone couldn't account for the widespread disarray, especially given the interlocked nature of the construction. Could it have been an unprecedented flood from Lake Titicaca, which lies nearby and whose ancient shoreline suggests it once reached the site? The implications of such an event, violently scattering these perfectly engineered blocks, adds another dimension to Pumapunku's story, hinting at a forgotten past of immense natural upheaval. Ultimately, Pumapunku challenges our conventional understanding of ancient engineering and the capabilities of early civilizations. It forces us to ask, what if our timeline of technological advancement is incomplete? What if there were periods of sophisticated knowledge that were lost, only to be hinted at by enigmatic ruins like these? The precision, the scale, and the mysterious destruction of Pumapunku make it one of the most compelling and perplexing archaeological sites on Earth, leaving us to ponder the true ingenuity of its creators and the powerful forces that ultimately left their monumental work in ruins, a silent legacy of a craftsmanship that seems to defy explanation. Our journey continues its ascent into the majestic Andes, bringing us to Peru once more, high above the ancient Inca capital of Cusco, where the formidable fortress of Sacsayhuaman stands as a monumental testament to Inca engineering. This isn't just a collection of old walls, it's a breathtaking marvel of megalithic architecture, its massive, zigzagging ramparts constructed from stones so immense they defy easy explanation. What truly sets Sacsayhuaman apart, even among other impressive Inca sites, is the sheer scale and unparalleled precision of its stonework. We're talking about irregularly shaped stones, many weighing over 100 tons, fitted together with such astonishing accuracy that, famously, not even a knife blade can be inserted between them. The Inca were renowned for their dry stonework, a technique that involved shaping stones so perfectly that they could be laid without mortar, creating structures that were remarkably resistant to the frequent earthquakes of the Andean region. But Sacsayhuaman elevates this technique to an almost unbelievable extreme. Look closely at these massive blocks, and you'll find some that possess 12 or more distinct angles, each one meticulously cut to interlock precisely with its neighbors like pieces of an impossibly complex three-dimensional puzzle. The surfaces are often subtly curved, further complicating the fitting process. This level of craftsmanship, particularly with stones of such immense size and irregular shapes, continues to baffle engineers and archaeologists. How did they achieve such perfection? Did they employ a method of repeated trial and error, carefully shaping each stone until it fit its unique slot? Or did they possess a lost technology, a secret technique for manipulating stone that allowed for such flawless articulation? The sheer dedication and skill required to produce this stonework, evident in every joint, suggests a profound understanding of geometry, physics, and material science, all without the aid of iron tools or the wheel. Consider the tremendous logistical challenges involved in constructing such a site. The stones used at Sacsayhuaman were quarried from nearby locations, but even transporting multi-ton blocks across uneven terrain, uphill without the benefit of wheeled vehicles or advanced machinery, presents an enormous puzzle. Various theories have been proposed. One suggests that thousands of laborers using simple ropes, wooden rollers, and ramps of earth painstakingly dragged and maneuvered these colossal stones into place. This would have required an extraordinary level of social organization, leadership, and coordinated effort, underscoring the power and authority of the Inca Empire. Another theory posits the use of complex leverage systems, perhaps involving large wooden levers, fulcrums, and a deep understanding of mechanical advantage. Some even suggest that the Inca had a method of softening the surfaces of the stones, allowing them to be shaped and then hardened again, though there is no direct evidence to support this more speculative idea. Regardless of the exact methods, the construction of Sacsayhuaman was undoubtedly an epic undertaking, a testament to what highly motivated manual labor combined with ingenious planning could achieve. Beyond its physical grandeur, the purpose of Sacsayhuaman is deeply intertwined with Inca cosmology and defense. Strategically situated on a hill overlooking Cusco, the fortress offered a commanding view of the valley below, making it an ideal defensive stronghold. Its zigzagging walls, often interpreted as representing the teeth of a puma, Cusco itself was designed in the shape of a puma, with Sacsayhuaman forming its head, created multiple defensive angles, allowing defenders to unleash volleys of projectiles upon any approaching enemy from various directions. However, Sacsayhuaman was more than just a military fort, it was also a profoundly sacred site. Its precise alignment with astronomical phenomena, particularly during solstices and equinoxes, hints at its role as a ceremonial center. It likely served as a place for important religious rituals, state ceremonies, and perhaps even astronomical observation, connecting the Inca people with their gods and the cosmos. The vast open spaces within the complex could have accommodated thousands of people for religious festivals. Its very existence was a powerful symbol of Inca might, a physical manifestation of their divine connection and their dominance over the Andean landscape. The sheer ambition of its construction, the flawless artistry, and the enduring mystery of its creation make Sacsayhuaman a truly awe-inspiring ruin, continuing to challenge our assumptions about ancient capabilities and the profound determination of a people dedicated to leaving an indelible mark on the world. From the incredible dry stone masonry of the Andes, we now journey to the scorching sands of Egypt to confront a monument that has captivated humanity for millennia, the Great Pyramid of Giza. It stands as the last remaining wonder of the ancient world, an enduring testament to human ambition and engineering prowess, and arguably the most mysterious ruin on Earth. Built for Pharaoh Khufu around 2580 to 2560 BCE, this colossal structure reigned as the tallest man-made creation for over 3,800 years, a record unbroken until the construction of the Lincoln Cathedral in England in the 14th century. Its sheer scale alone is enough to inspire awe, but it's the mind-boggling precision of its construction and the subtle yet profound astronomical alignments that truly push it beyond the realm of mere human achievement and into the territory of the inexplicable. The fundamental mystery of the Great Pyramid revolves around its construction. How did an ancient civilization without iron tools, wheeled vehicles, or advanced machinery managed to quarry, transport, and lift millions of stone blocks, some weighing easily 80 tons, into place with such astonishing accuracy? The core of the pyramid is made of an estimated 2.3 million stone blocks, each weighing on average 2.5 tons. The outer casing stones, now largely removed, were cut with such precision that they joined with joints as fine as a hair, creating a seamless and perfectly smooth surface. Dominant theories propose the use of vast workforces, numbering in the tens of thousands, utilizing a combination of ramps, levers, and sheer human muscle. One long-standing theory suggests a single, long external ramp spiraling up the side of the pyramid. However, the logistics of building such a ramp, immense in itself, and the difficulty of maneuvering multi-ton blocks around sharp corners present significant challenges to this idea. More recently, some archaeologists favor the idea of an internal ramp system, perhaps spiraling upwards within the pyramid's core, which would have allowed for protected movement of blocks and required less material for the ramp itself. Evidence for such a ramp has been found within some pyramids, though not definitively for the Great Pyramid itself. Beyond the ramps, the transportation of the stone blocks from quarries, some located miles away, is another massive puzzle. The large granite blocks used for the king's chamber, for instance, came from Aswan, over 500 miles to the south. The prevailing theory suggests these were transported by barge along the Nile River during the annual flood season, when the water levels would have risen close to the pyramid plateau. Once at the base, the blocks would have been dragged overland on sledges, possibly lubricated by water or mud, across specially prepared causeways. For the truly massive stones, like the 80-ton granite sarcophagus in Khufu's chamber, the methods become even more speculative, hinting at an almost unimaginable level of coordinated physical effort and ingenious, albeit simple, mechanical advantage. The debate extends to the very act of lifting these colossal stones. Some propose advanced levering mechanisms, while others suggest the use of counterweights or even a system involving water locks, where rising water could have lifted blocks into position. Each theory, while plausible on its own, struggles to fully explain the entire process of construction, leaving room for continued speculation and an almost endless fascination with the genius of the builders. Adding to the enigma are the pyramid's precise astronomical alignments and its curious internal chambers. The four sides of the Great Pyramid are aligned almost perfectly with the four cardinal directions, an astonishing feat of ancient surveying. The entrance to the pyramid also aligns with the circumpolar stars, specifically Alpha Draconis, which was the North Star at the time of its construction. These alignments suggest a profound understanding of astronomy and a deliberate intention to connect the pharaoh's final resting place with the cosmos. Inside, the pyramid contains a complex network of passages and chambers: the king's chamber, the queen's chamber, and the subterranean chamber, along with mysterious air shafts that point to specific stars. The purpose of these shafts remains debated. Were they for ventilation, symbolic pathways for the pharaoh's soul to ascend to the heavens, or perhaps part of a larger astronomical observation system? The existence of hidden chambers, like the Great Void discovered in 2017 using muon tomography, further fuels the mystery, suggesting that the pyramid may still hold secrets yet to be uncovered. What advanced knowledge did these ancient Egyptians possess that allowed them to achieve such accuracy? Was their understanding of mathematics, engineering, and astronomy far beyond what we typically give them credit for? The Great Pyramid of Giza continues to stand as a silent, monolithic question mark, a profound challenge to our understanding of ancient capabilities and a testament to the enduring human impulse to reach for the stars, even if the methods remain shrouded in the sands of time. From the monumental pyramids of Egypt, our journey now ventures to one of the most isolated places on Earth, the remote volcanic landscape of Rapa Nui, better known as Easter Island. Here, scattered across this tiny speck of land in the vast Pacific Ocean, stand the enigmatic monolithic statues known as Moai. These colossal figures, carved by the ancient Rapa Nui people between 1250 and 1500 CE, are an iconic symbol of human ingenuity and one of the world's most enduring archaeological mysteries. With their distinctive elongated faces, prominent chins, and deep-set eyes, they silently gaze inland, their backs to the sea, standing as stoic guardians over a now-lost civilization. The sheer number of these statues, nearly 900, have been documented, and the scale of their construction are simply staggering, especially when considering the limited resources available on a remote island. The most captivating mystery surrounding the Moai isn't just their creation in the Rono Raraku quarry, where hundreds more remain abandoned in various stages of completion. It's the almost unfathomable question of how these ancient islanders managed to transport such massive statues, some weighing over 75 tons and standing more than 30 feet tall, sometimes several miles across uneven terrain, and then meticulously erect them onto their ceremonial stone platforms known as ahu. Modern engineering would find this a challenge even with heavy machinery. Yet the Rapa Nui people achieved it with only primitive tools, ropes, and human muscle. This logistical puzzle has fueled decades of intense archaeological debate and imaginative theories. The prevailing scientific theories revolve around the idea that the Moai were walked into position. One popular hypothesis suggests that the statues were rocked from side to side, gradually inching them forward using ropes attached to their heads and bases. Experiments have been conducted demonstrating that this method is indeed plausible, requiring a relatively small team of people. Another variation proposes that the statues were placed on wooden sledges, which were then dragged over a network of carefully prepared roads, perhaps using a system of rollers or skids. The discovery of ancient roads radiating from the quarry lends support to this view, though the steep inclines and often rugged terrain would still have presented immense challenges. Beyond the methods of transportation, the purpose of the moai and their placement on the Ahu platforms adds another layer to their enigma. It is widely believed that the statues represented deified ancestors, powerful chiefs, or important lineage heads, serving as guardians of their respective communities. Standing with their backs to the ocean, they watched over the villages and sacred sites, symbolizing the spiritual connection between the living and the dead, and ensuring the continued prosperity of their people. Each Ahu was a sacred space, often containing burials, and the act of erecting a moai was a profound ritualistic undertaking, a way to honor the ancestors and solidify tribal identity. One of the more intriguing moai sites is Ahu Akivi, a platform with 7 identical moai that are unique for facing the ocean rather than inland. This specific alignment, astronomically significant, suggests a deep understanding of celestial navigation and a connection to the islanders' ancestral voyages. It is theorized that these 7 moai may represent the first explorers who settled Rapa Nui, scanning the horizon for their homeland or perhaps guiding future voyagers. However, the story of the moai is not just one of incredible human achievement. It's also a cautionary tale of environmental collapse and societal upheaval. The massive effort required to quarry, transport, and erect these statues led to the extensive deforestation of the island. The giant palm trees that once covered Rapa Nui, crucial for timber, ropes, and rollers, were systematically cut down. This environmental devastation had catastrophic consequences, leading to widespread erosion, a decline in agricultural productivity, and a severe reduction in natural resources. As resources dwindled, competition and conflict between clans intensified, leading to warfare and societal breakdown. This period, known as the Huri Moai or statue toppling era, saw a widespread campaign of deliberately pulling over and defacing the moai. The very symbols of ancestral power became targets, often found toppled face down, their eyes, which were separately inlaid and believed to be the conduit for the ancestors' spiritual power removed. This act of desecration signified a profound cultural shift, a rejection of old beliefs, and a descent into chaos. By the time European explorers arrived in the 18th century, the once thriving civilization was in ruins, its monumental statues lying prostrate across the landscape, leaving only silent witnesses to a forgotten past. The moai, therefore, stand not only as a testament to extraordinary human ingenuity, but also as a powerful and poignant reminder of the delicate balance between human ambition and environmental sustainability, a legacy of triumph and tragedy etched into the very fabric of Easter Island. From the tragic isolation of Easter Island, our journey now takes us eastward across the Atlantic to the lush green landscapes of Ireland, where the ancient marvel of Newgrange awaits. This isn't just an old mound, it's a profound testament to the ingenuity of Neolithic people, a structure that predates both the Egyptian pyramids and Stonehenge by many centuries. Part of the larger Brú na Bóinne complex in County Meath, Newgrange is a massive passage tomb dating back to roughly 3200 BC. Imagine a colossal circular mound more than 80 meters in diameter, built from earth and stones, meticulously laid out to create a truly awe-inspiring monument. At its base, a ring of enormous curbstones encircles the structure, many of them intricately carved with swirling megalithic art, hinting at the profound spiritual and artistic world of its ancient builders. The true genius and enduring mystery of Newgrange lie within its core, a long, narrow passageway stretching about 62 feet, leading into a cruciform chamber deep inside the mound. What makes this inner sanctum so astonishing isn't just its careful construction, but its incredibly precise astronomical alignment. Each year, on the morning of the winter solstice, as the sun begins its slow ascent above the horizon, a narrow beam of sunlight penetrates a small opening known as the roof box above the main entrance. Slowly, deliberately, this shaft of light travels down the entire length of the 62-foot passage, gradually illuminating the chamber at its heart. For a breathtaking 17 minutes, the inner chamber is bathed in golden light before the sun climbs too high and darkness reclaims the tomb. This remarkable event, witnessed now by modern-day lottery winners who gather inside, suggests an astonishing level of astronomical knowledge and architectural precision possessed by people living over 5,000 years ago. How did these ancient builders, without modern instruments or surveying tools, calculate and engineer such an exact alignment with the shortest day of the year? This level of celestial understanding points not just to observation, but to a sophisticated system of knowledge passed down through generations, indicating a culture deeply connected to the cycles of the sun and seasons. Beyond its astronomical precision, Newgrange is also a treasure trove of megalithic art, offering tantalizing glimpses into the mindset of its creators. The massive curbstones surrounding the mound, as well as stones within the passage and chamber, are adorned with intricate carvings, spirals, zigzags, concentric circles, and lozenges. These abstract designs pecked into the hard stone are not just decorative, they are key elements of the monument's spiritual and symbolic landscape. While their exact meaning remains elusive, many archaeologists believe they represent cosmic maps, ancestral symbols, or perhaps even an ancient form of writing or notation. The most famous example is the triple spiral on the entrance stone, a motif found throughout ancient Celtic art, often associated with concepts of life, death, rebirth, and the cyclical nature of time. This art transforms the monument from a mere burial place into a living canvas where spiritual beliefs and observations of the natural world intertwine, suggesting a complex belief system that likely revolved around ancestor veneration and the journey of the soul. The ritualistic significance of light and darkness is central to understanding Newgrange. For a society so deeply reliant on agricultural cycles, the winter solstice marked a critical turning point. The death of the old year and the promise of the sun's return, symbolizing rebirth and renewal. Newgrange, therefore, served as far more than just a tomb. It was likely a sacred space for ceremonies, a place where the living communed with the dead, and where the power of the returning sun was harnessed to bless the land and ensure future fertility. The short burst of light illuminating the chamber for those 17 minutes would have been a powerful, awe-inspiring experience, signaling hope and the continuation of life. It was a space designed to mark the passage from darkness to light, from death to regeneration, perfectly encapsulating the spiritual beliefs of a Neolithic society profoundly connected to the earth and the heavens. The deliberate construction of such a monument, requiring immense communal effort and specialized knowledge, highlights the importance of these rituals and beliefs to the very fabric of their society. Newgrange remains a silent yet eloquent witness to the profound human desire to understand our place in the cosmos, to honor our ancestors, and to mark the cyclical journey of life and death through monumental architecture. From the ancient astronomical observatories of the British Isles, our journey takes a radical turn, propelling us to the heart of ancient Mesopotamia, specifically to the enigmatic ruins of Qujat Rabu near Baghdad, Iraq. Here, a truly baffling artifact was unearthed in 1938, casting a jolt of electricity, so to speak, into the history of technology. This is the legendary Baghdad Battery, an object that, if its interpretation holds true, fundamentally challenges our understanding of ancient capabilities and the very timeline of scientific advancement. Dating back to the Parthian era, roughly 250 BC to 224 CE, this seemingly simple clay pot contains a copper cylinder, an iron rod, and traces of what might have been an acidic electrolyte like grape juice or vinegar. The design immediately brings to mind a galvanic cell, a device capable of generating a small electrical current. The primary debate swirling around the Baghdad Battery is inevitably its purpose. If it was indeed a battery, what were the Parthians doing with electricity nearly 2,000 years before Alessandro Volta invented the modern electrical cell? One of the most frequently cited theories, and one that has been successfully replicated by modern experiments, is its use for electroplating. Imagine ancient artisans using this rudimentary electrical current to bond thin layers of precious metals like gold or silver onto less valuable base metals such as copper or bronze. This process, known as gilding by electrolysis, would have produced visually stunning artifacts, enhancing their beauty and value. Replicas of the Baghdad Battery have demonstrated that a small but consistent current could indeed be generated, enough to achieve a crude form of electroplating. This would represent an incredibly sophisticated technological application for its time, suggesting an advanced understanding of chemical reactions and their electrical properties. The implications for ancient craftsmanship and metallurgy are immense, painting a picture of ancient societies far more technologically adept than typically assumed. Another intriguing, though less substantiated, theory posits that the Baghdad Battery might have been used for medical purposes, specifically for pain relief or therapeutic treatments. Ancient texts and archaeological findings hint at various forms of ancient medicine, and the application of mild electrical currents for the treatment of ailments is not an entirely far-fetched concept. Imagine a primitive form of electrotherapy, perhaps used to numb pain during a rudimentary surgical procedure or to stimulate muscles. While direct evidence for this use case is lacking, the idea opens up fascinating avenues for understanding ancient medical practices and their potential experimentation with natural phenomena. Similarly, some theories suggest a religious or ritualistic function. Perhaps it was used to create a magical effect in temples, delivering a slight shock to enhance a spiritual experience or to illuminate a sacred object, adding an element of divine mystery to ceremonies. The sudden, unexpected sensation of a static charge could certainly have been interpreted as a supernatural phenomenon, enhancing the authority of priests or the perceived power of deities. However, the scientific community is far from unanimous in accepting the Baghdad Battery's electrical purpose. The most prominent counter-argument suggests that the artifact was merely a storage vessel for ancient scrolls or papyri. The copper cylinder and iron rod, in this view, would have simply served as a protective casing to keep the scroll from deteriorating within the clay pot. The presence of acidic residue could be explained by natural decomposition of organic materials over time, rather than intentionally added electrolyte. Critics also point out the lack of other compelling archaeological evidence of electrical technology in the ancient world. If the Parthians were indeed generating electricity, why are there no records, no other similar devices, no evidence of widespread application of this technology? The isolated nature of this find makes it difficult to definitively assign it a technological function that was widely understood or utilized. Without explicit ancient texts describing its use as a battery or the discovery of more such devices, its role as an electrical generator remains speculative, albeit highly intriguing. Despite the ongoing debate, the Baghdad Battery stands as a tantalizing anomaly. Its very existence challenges the neat, linear progression we often assume for technological development. It forces us to consider the possibility of lost knowledge, of isolated, brilliant discoveries that did not lead to widespread adoption or were simply forgotten over time. Whether it was an ancient battery, a unique scroll container, or something else entirely, this unassuming clay pot from the dusty ruins of Kujat Rabu continues to spark intense discussion, reminding us that the past still holds countless secrets capable of electrifying our understanding of human ingenuity and the surprising twists and turns in the history of science. From the ancient, often perplexing artifacts of the past, we now confront a more recent enigma, one that emerged from the modern era but carried an ancient sense of mystery: the Georgia Guidestones. Though tragically destroyed in a violent act in 2022, this granite monument stood for over 40 years in Elbert County, Georgia, a modern-day Rosetta Stone etched with cryptic pronouncements for the future of humanity. Erected in 1980, the Guidestones comprised 5 massive polished granite slabs weighing a total of 107 tons. 4 of these served as support for a central capstone, and a 5th stood upright in the middle. What made them truly extraordinary was the multilingual inscription on their faces: 10 guidelines for humanity, carved into the stone in 8 different modern languages: English, Spanish, Swahili, Hindi, Hebrew, Arabic, Chinese, and Russian. A shorter message was inscribed on the capstone in 4 ancient languages: Babylonian cuneiform, Classical Greek, Sanskrit, and ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs. The sheer scale and ambition of this monument immediately set it apart, provoking curiosity and concern from its very inception. The enduring mystery of the Georgia Guidestones began with its origins. The monument was commissioned by an anonymous individual or group operating under the pseudonym R.C. Christian, a name that itself sparked numerous theories. Was it a reference to Rosicrucianism, a Kabbalistic numerology, or simply a clever disguise? This individual, described as well-educated and articulate, walked into the offices of Elberton Granite Finishing Company in 1979 and paid for the project in full, reportedly with funds from several wealthy sources. The deep anonymity of the patron fueled immediate speculation. Who were they, what was their agenda, and why did they choose such an unusual and public method to convey their message? This secrecy lent an air of conspiratorial intrigue to the monument, inviting endless theories about secret societies, global elites, and shadowy organizations pulling the strings of world events. The lack of verifiable information about R.C. Christian only cemented the Guidestones' place in modern folklore, becoming a magnet for those who saw it as a blueprint for a new world order or a sinister agenda for global control. The 10 guidelines themselves were perhaps the most controversial aspect of the monument, sparking intense debate and often outright alarm. Among the pronouncements were directives such as maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature, guide reproduction wisely improving fitness and diversity, and unite humanity with a living new language. Other guidelines called for balanced rights with social duties, temperate passion, a healthy court, and a belief in a coming golden age. While some interpreted these as noble aspirations for environmental sustainability, peace, and rational governance, others saw them as a chilling endorsement of population control, eugenics, and a one-world government. The call to reduce the global population from billions to 500 million, in particular, ignited widespread fear and condemnation, leading many to label the Guidestones as satanic or a manifesto for a globalist depopulation agenda. The ambiguity of the language, combined with the ominous nature of some of the pronouncements, ensured that the monument remained a lightning rod for controversy, drawing both admirers who saw it as a wise blueprint for humanity's survival and detractors who viewed it as a symbol of dystopian control. Beyond the controversial messages, the Guidestones were also a marvel of modern astronomical engineering, mirroring the precision seen in ancient structures like Stonehenge. The monument incorporated several astronomical features: a hole drilled through the central upright stone, through which the North Star could always be viewed, a slot in the capstone that aligned with the summer and winter solstices, and another hole that allowed a beam of sunlight to mark noon throughout the year. These alignments demonstrated a sophisticated understanding of celestial mechanics, suggesting that the anonymous patrons intended the monument to serve not only as a philosophical statement, but also as a kind of modern calendar or observatory, perhaps emphasizing the cyclical nature of time and the importance of cosmic awareness. This blend of cryptic philosophical advice and precise astronomical calibration further deepened the monument's mystique, positioning it as a modern-day oracle or a cosmic timepiece. The ultimate mystery of the Georgia Guidestones culminated in its abrupt and violent destruction in July 2022. An explosive device detonated at the site, shattering one of the 4 main granite panels and severely damaging the capstone. Authorities quickly dismantled the remaining structure, citing safety concerns. The destruction brought an end to an era of speculation and debate, but it also raised new questions: who was responsible, what was their motivation, and what does this act mean for the future of such public yet enigmatic monuments? While the physical structure is gone, the mystery of the Georgia Guidestones endures in the collective consciousness. It stands as a unique example of a modern ruin that, like its ancient counterparts, leaves behind a legacy of unanswered questions about its creators, its purpose, and the powerful, often conflicting, reactions it provoked in the human psyche. It served as a stark reminder that even in an age of information, some secrets remain stubbornly guarded, and some symbols continue to ignite passionate debate even to their fiery end. From the enigmatic structures that still stand, our journey now ventures into the realm of legend and tantalizing possibility, focusing on a ruin that may exist only in myth, the lost city of Atlantis. While not a single, tangible archaeological site like the pyramids or Stonehenge, the legend of Atlantis, as famously recounted by the ancient Greek philosopher Plato, has captivated humanity for millennia, driving countless explorers, archaeologists, and dreamers to seek its physical remains. Plato described Atlantis as a powerful and technologically advanced island civilization, possessing immense wealth and an organized society, that ultimately sank beneath the waves in a single, catastrophic day and night as divine punishment for its moral decay and hubris. This incredibly detailed narrative, found in Plato's dialogues, Timaeus and Critias, paints a vivid picture of a utopian society turned dystopian, a cautionary tale that has transcended time and become one of history's most enduring mysteries. The very idea of a sophisticated civilization abruptly swallowed by the sea sparks the imagination and fuels an insatiable quest to find proof that this wasn't just a philosophical allegory, but a real place that once graced our planet. The quest for Atlantis has led to a fascinating array of speculative claims and intriguing discoveries across the globe, each vying for the title of the legendary Lost City. One of the most compelling proposed sites, frequently cited by those who believe in a historical Atlantis, is the volcanic island of Santorini, ancient Thera in the Aegean Sea. Around 1600 BCE, Thera experienced one of the largest volcanic eruptions in recorded history, an event so cataclysmic it is believed to have wiped out the advanced Minoan civilization on Crete and surrounding islands. The eruption caused tsunamis and climatic disruptions felt across the ancient world, and it dramatically reshaped the island itself, creating the iconic caldera we see today. Proponents argue that the Minoan civilization, with its sophisticated artistry, vibrant trade networks, and palatial complexes, aligns remarkably well with Plato's descriptions of Atlantis's advanced culture. The sudden, catastrophic nature of the eruption and subsequent submergence of parts of the island also mirrors Plato's account of Atlantis sinking into the sea. Geologically and archaeologically, Santorini offers a powerful, albeit circumstantial, case for a historical basis to the Atlantis legend, suggesting that Plato's story might have been passed down through generations, perhaps embellished or allegorized, but rooted in a real geological cataclysm that profoundly impacted an advanced Bronze Age culture. Another intriguing, though highly controversial, candidate for Atlantis is the so-called Bimini Road, an enigmatic underwater rock formation discovered off the coast of North Bimini Island in the Bahamas. This linear arrangement of large, rectangular limestone blocks lying submerged in shallow waters appears strikingly similar to a paved road or a collapsed wall. Discovered in 1968, its appearance immediately fueled speculation that it was a remnant of an ancient, submerged structure, perhaps even a part of the lost Atlantean civilization. Proponents highlight the apparent regularity of the blocks, their precise alignment, and the sheer scale of the formation as evidence of human construction, suggesting it could be a road, a harbor wall, or even part of a Cyclopean city. Some even point to the fact that the sea levels in this region were significantly lower during the last ice age, making it possible for such a structure to have been built on dry land and later submerged. If the Bimini Road were indeed man-made, it would necessitate a radical rethinking of the capabilities of ancient cultures in the Americas or the Caribbean, pushing the timeline of complex engineering far back into prehistory. However, the scientific community largely dismisses the Bimini Road as a natural formation. Geologists argue that the blocks are simply naturally occurring beach rock, which often forms in regular, rectangular patterns due to the erosion and fracturing of limestone. They point out that similar formations are found in other coastal areas around the world, and that the regularity of the blocks is a common characteristic of natural geological processes. Furthermore, detailed studies of the individual blocks have not revealed any definitive tool marks or other signs of human modification that would conclusively prove their artificial origin. The debate around the Bimini Road highlights the core challenge in identifying Atlantis, distinguishing between remarkable natural phenomena and genuine archaeological evidence. The human mind is naturally inclined to see patterns and order, especially when confronted with mysterious formations, and this tendency can sometimes lead to misinterpretations of geological processes. Despite the numerous expeditions, the vast array of proposed locations which range from the Mediterranean and the Canary Islands to the Caribbean and even Antarctica, and the passionate arguments from proponents, concrete archaeological evidence for a historically accurate Atlantis, as described by Plato, remains elusive. No definitive sunken city matching Plato's precise descriptions has ever been found. Critics argue that Plato's account was likely a philosophical parable, a cautionary tale designed to illustrate his political theories and warn against the dangers of imperialistic ambition and moral decline, rather than a literal historical record. They suggest that Plato, writing hundreds of years after the supposed event, likely drew inspiration from various sources, including real geological events like the Thera eruption and existing legends of ancient floods or powerful empires, weaving them into a compelling narrative for his philosophical purposes. The precise details, such as the exact size, location, and the specific architecture of Atlantis, often seem too perfect, too allegorical, to be taken as literal history. Yet, why does the legend of Atlantis continue to captivate us, even in the face of scientific skepticism? Perhaps it speaks to a deep human longing for a lost golden age, a technologically advanced civilization that existed before our own, pushing the boundaries of what we believe ancient peoples were capable of. It taps into our fascination with ancient mysteries, lost knowledge, and the seductive idea that there's still so much about our past that remains undiscovered. The very absence of definitive proof only fuels the speculation, allowing us to project our hopes, fears, and wildest theories onto this blank canvas of a vanished world. It reminds us that history is not always neatly categorized, and that some of the most compelling narratives exist on the fringes of what we can prove, continuing to inspire exploration, research, and a profound sense of wonder about the incredible stories that might still lie hidden beneath the waves. Leaving behind the captivating, yet perhaps unprovable, enigma of Atlantis, our journey now transports us to a place of undeniable grandeur and scale, a truly awe-inspiring ruin that, despite extensive study, still holds profound mysteries, Angkor Wat in Cambodia. This isn't merely a temple, it's the heart of a colossal ancient hydraulic city, an entire civilization sustained by an advanced understanding of water, carved into the very landscape. Built in the 12th century, Angkor Wat stands as the largest religious monument in the world, a breathtaking testament to Khmer architecture, adorned with intricate bas-reliefs that tell stories of gods, kings, and epic battles. Its majestic towers rise like lotus buds from the Cambodian jungle, drawing millions of visitors each year. Yet, beneath its well-documented beauty and spiritual significance lies a colossal riddle. How did the Khmer Empire sustain such a massive urban complex, estimated by some to have housed up to 1 million people, in a challenging monsoon climate, relying on an intricate and highly sophisticated water management system of reservoirs, canals, and dikes? The sheer scale of this ancient metropolis and its sophisticated infrastructure continue to provoke wonder and debate among archaeologists and historians, pushing the boundaries of what we thought ancient civilizations were capable of achieving in terms of urban planning and ecological engineering. The most profound mystery of Angkor lies in its ingenious and incredibly complex water management system, often referred to as a hydraulic city. The Khmer Empire, flourishing in a region characterized by extreme wet and dry seasons, engineered a masterful solution to control the crucial ebb and flow of water. This wasn't just about irrigation, it was a comprehensive system designed to manage water for everything: agriculture, transportation, sanitation, and even defense. The heart of this system were vast artificial reservoirs known as barrays, some stretching for miles, like the West Barray, which covers an area of over 6 square miles. These barrays collected massive amounts of rainwater during the monsoon season, storing it for use during the long dry season, ensuring a year-round water supply for the burgeoning population and their rice paddies. A sophisticated network of canals and dikes connected these reservoirs, meticulously channeling water throughout the city, distributing it to agricultural fields and residential areas. The level of hydrological engineering required to design, build, and maintain such a vast and interconnected system in a tropical environment, subject to intense weather variations, hints at an advanced understanding of hydrology, surveying, and labor organization that still impresses modern engineers. How did they calculate the precise gradients needed for the canals, or the capacity required for the barrays to sustain such a massive population? These questions underscore the brilliance of the Khmer engineers whose work underpinned the very existence of one of the world's largest pre-industrial cities. Beyond the logistical genius, the spiritual significance of Angkor Wat and its precise alignments adds another layer of intrigue to its complex tapestry. The entire Angkor complex, including Angkor Wat, was not just an urban center. It was a cosmic city designed to reflect the Hindu cosmology of Mount Meru, the mythical home of the gods. Angkor Wat itself is perfectly aligned on an east-west axis, with the main entrance facing west, a direction traditionally associated with Vishnu, the deity to whom the temple was originally dedicated. During the spring equinox, observers standing at the main gate witness a spectacular sunrise directly over the central tower of Angkor Wat, a deliberate alignment that speaks volumes about the astronomical knowledge and spiritual intentions of its builders. This precise celestial alignment hints at the monument's dual function, a place of worship and a representation of the cosmos on Earth, designed to connect the human and divine realms. The intricate bas-reliefs adorning the temple walls further illustrate this spiritual connection, depicting Hindu myths, historical events, and celestial beings, enveloping the entire complex in a rich narrative of spiritual devotion and cosmic order. The very layout of the city, with its temples and water features, was a sacred landscape, reflecting the spiritual beliefs that permeated every aspect of Khmer life and governance. The eventual decline of the mighty Khmer Empire and the abandonment of Angkor remain subjects of intense debate and hold lingering mysteries, while Angkor Wat itself was never fully abandoned and continued to be used as a Buddhist temple. The larger urban complex and its hydraulic system eventually fell into disuse. Several theories attempt to explain this collapse, each pointing to a complex interplay of factors. One prominent theory suggests that the very hydraulic system that sustained the empire eventually contributed to its downfall. Extended periods of drought followed by severe floods could have overwhelmed the system, leading to its degradation and rendering the complex unsustainable. Climate change, specifically a series of mega-droughts in the 14th and 15th centuries, would have put immense strain on the intricate water management infrastructure, leading to widespread crop failure and famine. Another theory points to ecological degradation, arguing that the massive population and extensive rice cultivation led to deforestation and soil erosion, further exacerbating the environmental challenges. Constant warfare with neighboring kingdoms, particularly the Thai, also played a significant role, disrupting trade routes, draining resources, and potentially leading to the final capture and sacking of the capital. Lastly, a shift in religious beliefs from Hinduism to Theravada Buddhism may have contributed to the decline, as the new religion emphasized monasticism and individual spiritual pursuits over the grand, state-sponsored temple-building projects that characterized the earlier Hindu era. The precise combination of these factors and their relative impact on such a powerful and sophisticated civilization continues to be unraveled, leaving us to ponder the fragility of even the grandest empires and the complex relationship between human ingenuity, environmental forces, and societal change. Angkor Wat, therefore, stands not just as a monument to past glory, but as a silent, monolithic question about the enduring mysteries of imperial rise and fall. From the grand, hydraulic cities of Southeast Asia, our journey now takes a dramatic shift across continents and into the mists of prehistory, landing us in the windswept region of Brittany, France, home to the truly astonishing Carnac Stones. This isn't a single monument, it's an entire prehistoric landscape, a monumental riddle carved in stone, consisting of thousands upon thousands of megalithic alignments stretching for miles across the rolling countryside. Dating from the Neolithic period, roughly 4,500 BCE to 2000 BCE, these vast collections of standing stones, known as menhirs, along with burial chambers called dolmens and burial mounds called tumuli, present one of archaeology's most enduring and captivating mysteries. Imagine walking through seemingly endless rows of ancient stones, some small, others towering, arranged in precise patterns that span horizons. The sheer scale of this prehistoric endeavor is breathtaking, invoking a sense of wonder and confusion about the ancient minds that conceived and executed such an immense undertaking. The fundamental, baffling question surrounding the Carnac Stones revolves around their purpose. Why were they erected in such precise rows and patterns, some running parallel, others fanning out, in a landscape that seems to have been deliberately shaped by human hands thousands of years ago? One of the most compelling theories suggests they served as a complex astronomical observatory, a giant calendar perhaps used by Neolithic peoples to track the movements of the sun, moon, and stars. Some alignments seem to point to solstices and equinoxes, crucial periods for an agricultural society. If true, this would demonstrate an incredibly sophisticated understanding of celestial mechanics and an advanced system of observation, allowing them to predict seasonal changes and guide their planting and harvesting cycles. The very arrangement of the stones could have been a three-dimensional map of the heavens, with each stone serving as a marker in a cosmic clock. Other theorists propose a more ritualistic or ceremonial purpose. Perhaps the alignments were sacred pathways for processions, leading to ancient temples or burial sites, where rituals were performed to honor deities, ancestors, or natural forces. The sheer number of stones and the effort involved in their placement certainly suggests a profound spiritual significance that permeated every aspect of their creation. The logistical challenges of creating the Carnac alignments adds another layer to their enigma. How did these Neolithic people, without the benefit of metal tools, wheeled vehicles, or domesticated animals for heavy labor, manage to quarry, transport, and precisely erect thousands of stones, some weighing many tons, across such vast distances? The menhirs were likely sourced from local quarries, but extracting them and shaping them would have been a monumental task in itself. The prevalent theories suggest a combination of ingenious techniques, the use of earthen ramps, wooden rollers, and simple levers, along with a massive, coordinated workforce. Imagine thousands of individuals meticulously pulling, rolling, and levering these gargantuan stones into their designated positions, guided by an overarching plan that must have been passed down through generations. This speaks volumes about the social organization, communal effort, and planning capabilities of these early societies. The precision with which these stones are aligned over miles, often on uneven terrain, suggests a level of surveying and planning that is remarkably advanced for a prehistoric culture. This was not a haphazard collection of rocks. It was a deliberate, meticulously engineered landscape, a testament to an intelligence and resolve that still resonates thousands of years later. Intriguing, though less conventional, theories about the Carnac stones also highlight their mysterious nature. One idea suggests they might have marked ancient battlefields or served as memorials to fallen warriors, perhaps commemorating significant conflicts or victories. The sheer density and the imposing presence of the stones could certainly evoke such a solemn purpose. Another fascinating, albeit speculative, theory posits that the stones might have functioned as early seismic detectors or even a form of ancient energy grid. Proponents of this idea suggest that the specific type of stone used and their arrangement could have allowed them to interact with telluric currents or geological energies, though scientific evidence for such claims remains elusive. Regardless of the exact purpose, the enduring mystery lies in the sheer investment of communal labor and resources into a project of this magnitude. What beliefs, what knowledge, what grand vision drove these ancient people to dedicate so much to creating such a lasting mark on the landscape? The Carnac stones stand as a silent, yet imposing, monument to a forgotten civilization, challenging us to decipher their meaning and to connect with the profound intentions of the people who shaped this incredible stone-filled world. From the sprawling megalithic fields of Carnac, our journey now transports us across the Atlantic to the heart of ancient Mesoamerica, to the awe-inspiring city of Teotihuacan. Located just northeast of modern-day Mexico City, Teotihuacan stands as a colossal testament to an unknown civilization, a meticulously planned urban center that, at its zenith, was one of the largest and most powerful cities in the entire Americas, yet its original builders and the precise reasons for its abandonment around 550 CE remain shrouded in profound mystery. This isn't merely a collection of ruins, it's an entire ancient metropolis dominated by the colossal pyramids of the sun and moon, along with the sprawling Avenue of the Dead and the intricate Temple of the Feathered Serpent. Its sheer scale and the precision of its urban planning suggest a highly sophisticated society, one that left an indelible mark on subsequent Mesoamerican cultures, including the mighty Aztecs, who revered Teotihuacan as a sacred, mythical place even centuries after its collapse. The most perplexing puzzle surrounding Teotihuacan revolves around the identity of its original inhabitants, often simply referred to as the Teotihuacanos. Unlike the Maya or the Aztecs, who left behind extensive written records in their hieroglyphic scripts, the Teotihuacanos did not leave a decipherable writing system that would allow us to understand their language, their rulers, or their precise history. This absence of a clear historical record means that we don't even know what they called themselves or what they called their magnificent city. The name Teotihuacan was actually given to it by the Aztecs centuries later, and it translates roughly to the place where the gods were created, or the birthplace of the gods, reflecting their awe and reverence for this ancient, mysterious site. Who were these people who built structures rivaling the pyramids of Egypt in scale and developed a sprawling urban center with a highly organized society? Archaeological evidence points to a multi-ethnic population, drawing people from across Mesoamerica, making it a cosmopolitan hub of trade, religion, and innovation. However, understanding their specific origins, their social structures beyond their monumental architecture, and their political organization remains a significant challenge for archaeologists, leaving a frustrating blank in the historical tapestry of such an impactful civilization. Adding to the enigma is the complex and often baffling iconography found throughout the city. The omnipresent image of the feathered serpent god Quetzalcoatl is prominently featured, particularly on the magnificent temple of the feathered serpent within the Ciudadela complex. This deity, often associated with creation, knowledge, and the wind, clearly held immense significance for the Teotihuacanos, but what exactly did these symbols mean to them? While we can infer some general associations based on later Mesoamerican cultures, the specific nuances of Teotihuacan religious beliefs, rituals, and cosmology are still largely unknown. Other recurring motifs like the jaguar, the owl, and various abstract geometric patterns appear on murals, pottery, and sculptures, offering tantalizing glimpses into their worldview. However, without a Rosetta Stone to decipher their visual language, much of the meaning behind their intricate art remains open to interpretation. Were these murals historical narratives, religious texts, or perhaps a form of communal storytelling? The fragmented nature of these clues, combined with the lack of textual explanations, makes it incredibly difficult to fully penetrate the intellectual and spiritual life of this powerful ancient society, leaving us with a rich visual legacy but an incomplete understanding of its deeper significance. Perhaps the greatest mystery of Teotihuacan is its sudden and unexplained collapse around 550 CE. At its peak, the city was home to an estimated 100,000 to 200,000 people, boasting a highly advanced infrastructure, flourishing artisan workshops, and immense political and economic influence across Mesoamerica. Yet, within a relatively short period, its monumental core was deliberately burned, its elite residences were sacked, and the population drastically declined, leading to its eventual abandonment. What cataclysmic event or series of events could have brought down such a powerful and seemingly stable civilization? Numerous hypothetical scenarios have been put forth. One prominent theory suggests an internal uprising or social unrest, perhaps fueled by widening social inequalities, environmental degradation, or a crisis of leadership. Evidence of the deliberate burning of temples and elite structures could support this idea of an internal revolt. Another compelling hypothesis points to prolonged drought and environmental stress. The city's massive population would have put immense pressure on local resources, particularly water and timber. A prolonged period of low rainfall could have led to widespread crop failures, famine, and resource scarcity, ultimately destabilizing the entire society and causing its inhabitants to disperse in search of more hospitable lands. External invasion is another possibility, though direct archaeological evidence for a sustained military conquest is limited. While there may have been skirmishes or raids, it's unlikely that a single, devastating invasion alone caused the complete collapse of such a large and resilient city. More nuanced theories propose a combination of factors, a perfect storm of environmental challenges, internal strife, and perhaps even shifts in trade routes or political alliances that slowly eroded the city's power and viability. The idea that such a highly organized, technologically advanced, and influential urban center could simply unravel and be abandoned, leaving no clear explanation for its demise, is a profound and sobering thought. It highlights the inherent fragility of even the greatest civilizations when confronted with complex, interconnected challenges. Despite extensive archaeological work, including detailed mapping, excavation of residential compounds, and study of their unique architectural styles, much about Teotihuacan remains stubbornly unknown. Its vibrant, enigmatic past continues to challenge our assumptions about urbanism, social complexity, and the mysterious forces that lead to the rise and fall of great empires, leaving us to ponder the silent stories etched in its monumental stones. From the enigmatic, sprawling cities of Mesoamerica, our journey now arcs across the globe, landing us on the windswept, ancient landscapes of the Orkney Islands off the northern coast of Scotland. Here, amidst a tapestry of green fields and dramatic coastline, stands the truly captivating Ring of Brodgar. This isn't just another stone circle. It's a monumental Neolithic henge and stone circle, part of the heart of Neolithic Orkney, a UNESCO World Heritage Site that embodies a profound, yet largely undeciphered, chapter of human history. Dating back to around 2500 to 2000 BCE, the Ring of Brodgar is a testament to the ingenuity and spiritual depth of prehistoric societies in this remote northern outpost. Imagine a perfect circle over 100 meters in diameter, originally comprising 60 standing stones, though only 27 remain upright today, each a silent sentinel gazing out over a landscape that was clearly of immense significance to its builders. The sheer scale of this endeavor, in such a remote and often harsh environment, immediately commands respect and ignites questions about the people who dedicated such immense effort to its creation. Like its more famous cousin, Stonehenge, the precise purpose of the Ring of Brodgar remains a subject of intense archaeological debate, a puzzle whose pieces are slowly, painstakingly being assembled. One of the most compelling theories centers on its potential astronomical functions. The arrangement of the stones, their relationship to the surrounding landscape, and their precise positioning suggest a deliberate connection to celestial events. It's highly probable that the Ring of Brodgar functioned as a sophisticated ancient observatory, a giant calendar used by Neolithic communities to track the movements of the sun and moon, marking solstices, equinoxes, and perhaps even more complex lunar cycles. Imagine these ancient people without telescopes or complex mathematical instruments, using the alignment of these massive stones to predict agricultural seasons, guide their ritualistic calendars, and perhaps even understand their place within the cosmic order. The precise placement of keystones could have allowed them to predict the longest and shortest days of the year, crucial knowledge for a society dependent on natural cycles. This level of celestial awareness speaks to a profound connection with their environment and a deep understanding of the cosmos, hinting at a nuanced spiritual and intellectual life that transcended mere survival. Beyond its potential role as an astronomical tool, the Ring of Brodgar was almost certainly a communal gathering place, a vibrant hub of social and ritual activity for the dispersed Neolithic communities of the Orkneys. Its central location within a landscape rich with other ancient monuments including the Ness of Brodgar, a sprawling Neolithic settlement, and numerous burial mounds like Misho, underscores its significance as the heart of a vast, interconnected ritual landscape. Picture ancient ceremonies, gatherings for trade, or perhaps even seasonal festivals taking place within this grand circular embrace. The sheer size of the circle would have allowed for large congregations, providing a monumental backdrop for significant social and spiritual events. It was a space that transcended the mundane, a place where the sacred and the communal intertwined, drawing people from across the islands to participate in shared rites of passage, celebrations, or solemn observances. The act of gathering within such a deliberately constructed, cosmically aligned space would have reinforced communal bonds and solidified shared beliefs, acting as a powerful symbol of collective identity and spiritual unity. The mystery of the Ring of Brodgar deepens when we consider the complex society that built such impressive structures in this windswept northern outpost. Who were these people, and how did they organize themselves to undertake such monumental construction projects without the aid of metal tools, draft animals, or advanced machinery? The effort required to quarry, transport, and erect these multi-ton stones, often from distant locations, would have demanded an immense cooperative effort, meticulous planning, and a highly organized social structure. This wasn't the work of a few individuals. It was a communal undertaking driven by a shared vision and a sophisticated understanding of engineering and logistics. The surrounding archaeological discoveries, particularly at the Ness of Brodgar, reveal a highly advanced and vibrant Neolithic society that thrived in the Orkneys. Excavations have uncovered complex buildings with intricately decorated stone slabs, finely crafted pottery, and evidence of specialized craft production, all suggesting a society with a surprising degree of sophistication and social hierarchy. These were not primitive hunter-gatherers. They were settled farmers, skilled artisans, and sophisticated thinkers, deeply connected to their land and the heavens. The Ring of Brodgar, therefore, stands as a testament not only to their astronomical and engineering prowess, but also to the strength of their social cohesion and the enduring power of shared belief in shaping monumental landscapes. Its silent stones continue to whisper tales of a remarkable people whose legacy, etched in the very fabric of the Orkney landscape, still challenges our understanding of prehistoric capabilities and the profound human impulse to leave a lasting mark upon the world. From the ancient wonders meticulously placed on global landscapes, our journey now takes a dramatic shift into the realm of legend and rediscovery, as we venture into the scorching sands of Oman in search of Ubar, the fabled lost city of the sands. For centuries, this prosperous trading hub existed only in the whispers of Arabian folklore and the ancient texts, described as a city of immense wealth and power, a crucial waypoint on the legendary frankincense trade routes, but one that was ultimately consumed by the desert as a divine punishment for its hubris. Picture this, a vibrant oasis city bustling with merchants and caravans, a beacon of civilization in the desolate Rub al-Khali or empty quarter of Arabia, only to vanish without a trace, becoming a mere myth. Then, in the early 1990s, a groundbreaking blend of cutting-edge technology and relentless historical research led to a discovery that sent ripples through the archaeological world. Ruins unearthed in the remote Dhofar region of Oman, strongly believed to be the very foundations of Ubar. The mystery of Ubar lies not just in its disappearance, but in the chillingly precise manner of its demise. How this once thriving center of commerce was literally swallowed whole by a massive sinkhole, leading to its sudden and almost total eradication from the historical record, a story of a city lost and against all odds found. The rediscovery of Ubar is a story as compelling as the legend itself, a testament to the power of modern technology in unraveling ancient enigmas. For decades, explorers and archaeologists had scoured the vast Arabian deserts, driven by the accounts of ancient historians like Pliny the Elder and the stories from the 1001 Nights, all hinting at a magnificent city that controlled the highly lucrative frankincense trade. Frankincense, the aromatic resin used in perfumes, medicines, and religious ceremonies, was as valuable as gold in the ancient world, and Ubar was its central distribution point. The breakthrough came with the application of remote sensing technologies, including satellite imagery from NASA, which allowed researchers to trace ancient caravan routes, barely visible to the naked eye, converging on a specific point in the desert. Ground-penetrating radar was then used to peer beneath the shifting dunes, revealing the faint outlines of buried structures. These technological insights guided archaeologists to the site in 1992, where initial excavations quickly unearthed the ruins of a fortress, complete with 8 monumental towers. This was no ordinary desert outpost. The scale and sophisticated construction of the remains suggested a major settlement, aligning perfectly with the descriptions of the legendary Ubar. The very ability to pinpoint a lost city from space, then confirm its existence through painstaking excavation, adds a layer of modern wonder to this ancient tale, bridging the gap between myth and tangible historical fact. The most profound and chilling aspect of Ubar's mystery, however, lies in its catastrophic end. The city wasn't just abandoned or conquered, it appears to have been literally swallowed by the earth. Archaeological evidence at the site strongly suggests that the central fortress of Ubar was built over a large limestone cave system, a common geological feature in this region due to underground water flows. Over centuries, as the city grew and its weighty structures pressed down, this subterranean cave system gradually weakened. Then, at some point, likely following a period of heavy rainfall or seismic activity that further destabilized the ground, the entire central portion of the city collapsed into a massive sinkhole. The discovery revealed the remains of the fort's towers, some toppled inwards, others still partially standing within the gaping maw of the sinkhole, as if frozen in the moment of their destruction. This geological anomaly provides a chillingly plausible explanation for the legend of Ubar being swallowed by the sand. It was not a gradual burial by shifting dunes, but a sudden, violent subsidence, an almost instantaneous act of geological consumption that would have left little behind but a gaping void and a terrifying, vivid memory for any survivors. Such an event would easily be interpreted by ancient peoples as a divine judgment, a punishment for the city's perceived moral failings or its accumulation of excessive wealth. The story of Ubar, therefore, weaves together threads of ancient trade, legendary wealth, cutting-edge modern science, and a dramatic geological catastrophe. While the site itself may not boast the monumental stone carvings of other ruins, its significance lies in the tangible proof of a legend, the scientific explanation for a mythical demise, and the glimpse it offers into the vast, interconnected trade networks of the ancient world. It was a city that facilitated the flow of precious frankincense from its source in Dhofar to the markets of Rome, Egypt, and beyond, connecting distant cultures and fueling ancient economies. Its sudden disappearance from history, followed by its re-emergence through the lens of satellite technology, reminds us that even the most fantastic tales can hold a kernel of truth. Ubar stands as a powerful testament to the fragility of even the most powerful human endeavors when confronted by the forces of nature, and the relentless human drive to rediscover the lost chapters of our collective past. From the desert's shifting sands and the rediscovery of lost cities, our journey now takes a dramatic leap across the Pacific to the remote and verdant shores of Pohnpei in Micronesia, where the astonishing ruins of Nan Madol emerge from the shimmering turquoise waters. This isn't just a ruin, it's an entire ancient city, a Venice of the Pacific, built on a series of more than 90 artificial islands, interconnected by a labyrinthine network of tidal canals. What truly sets Nan Madol apart and plunges it into the realm of profound mystery is its unique construction. Massive, naturally occurring basalt logs and prisms, some reaching 25 feet in length and weighing up to 50 tons, were stacked crisscross like colossal Lincoln logs to form the monumental walls of temples, palaces, and residences. Built by the Saudeleur dynasty between the 13th and 17th centuries CE, Nan Madol stands as an unparalleled feat of engineering and social organization in the ancient Pacific, baffling modern researchers with its sheer scale and the seemingly impossible methods of its construction. The engineering enigma of Nan Madol is perhaps its most compelling mystery. How did the ancient Pohnpeians, living on a remote island with seemingly limited technology, manage to quarry, transport, and lift these gargantuan basalt columns onto artificial platforms in the open ocean? The basalt columns were sourced from distant quarries on the main island of Pohnpei, some located miles away from the construction site, requiring transportation both overland and across significant stretches of water. The sheer weight and irregular shapes of these stones would present an immense challenge even with modern machinery, yet the Saudeleur builders achieved this without the benefit of the wheel, draft animals, or metal tools. Theories about their construction methods are largely speculative, often drawing on local legends. One popular idea suggests the use of rafts or pontoons to float the immense stones across the water, though maneuvering such heavy, unwieldy objects in tidal currents would have been incredibly difficult. Once at the site, the process of lifting and positioning these multi-ton logs onto progressively higher layers of walls remains a frustrating puzzle. Some propose that they utilized complex leverage systems, perhaps involving inclined ramps or scaffolding constructed from timber, though evidence for such structures is scarce. The local oral traditions, however, offer a far more fantastical explanation. They speak of ancient sorcerers using magic and levitation to move the stones through the air, or even invoking a giant bird that transported them. While obviously not scientifically verifiable, these legends underscore the profound awe and incomprehension that even the ancient Pohnpeians felt towards the sheer scale and difficulty of building Nan Madol. The very fact that such legends persisted speaks to the extraordinary nature of this achievement, pushing the boundaries of what we thought ancient island societies were capable of. Beyond the how, the purpose of Nan Madol adds another layer to its enduring enigma. Archaeological evidence suggests that Nan Madol served as the political, ritual, and administrative capital of the Sordalor dynasty, which unified the various chiefdoms of Pohnpei under a single, centralized rule. The artificial islands were not haphazardly built. Rather, they were meticulously planned with distinct areas for the royal family, priests, warriors, and even specialized craftsmen. The most prominent structures include temple complexes, royal tombs, and residential compounds, all built with the same characteristic basalt log construction. This careful segregation of functions and social classes within a highly structured urban environment reflects a complex social hierarchy and a sophisticated system of governance. It was likely a highly controlled environment, a place where the powerful elite resided, conducted their rituals, and exerted their authority over the populace. The very act of building such an enormous and architecturally distinctive capital on artificial islands in the sea served as a powerful symbol of the Sordalor rulers' wealth, power, and divine right to rule. It was a visible manifestation of their dominance, a monumental display of their ability to command vast resources and labor, transforming the very landscape to reflect their prestige. However, the story of Nan Madol is also one of mysterious decline and abandonment. The Sordalor dynasty, which ruled Pohnpei for approximately 500 years from their capital at Nan Madol, eventually collapsed around the early 17th century. The reasons for this decline are not entirely clear, adding another puzzle piece to Nan Madol's enigmatic history. One theory points to internal conflicts and political instability. The rigid, centralized control of the Sordalor rulers and their heavy demands on the populace for labor and resources to maintain Nan Madol may have led to resentment and revolts from the outer islands and subjugated chiefdoms. Local legends recount the arrival of a foreign invader, Isoklekl, who overthrew the last Sordalor ruler, leading to a new ruling lineage. While Isoklekl established a new system of governance, Nan Madol gradually lost its central importance and eventually fell into disuse and disrepair. Another contributing factor could have been the logistical challenges of maintaining such a complex and resource-intensive city. Providing food and fresh water to a large population living on artificial islands posed perennial problems, and any disruption to the supply chain could have had devastating consequences. Furthermore, the very nature of constructing and maintaining a city built from massive stones in a marine environment would have been a continuous struggle, requiring constant repair against the relentless forces of tropical weather and tidal erosion. The ultimate abandonment of Nan Madol leaves behind a haunting silence. The once bustling canals now lie largely empty, the grand basalt walls slowly crumbling under the weight of time and nature. The mystery of how it was built, why such immense effort was expended, and why it was eventually left to the encroaching jungle and the relentless sea, continues to captivate and challenge our understanding of ancient Pacific civilizations. Nan Madol is not just a collection of ruins, it is a profound testament to the ambition, ingenuity, and ultimate fragility of human empires, a unique basalt metropolis whose secrets still echo across the waves. From the engineering marvels of a Pacific Venice, our journey now turns inwards to the heart of North America, where a truly unique and deeply mysterious ruin unfurls across the landscape of present-day Ohio, the Great Serpent Mound. This isn't a city of stone, nor a complex of massive pillars, but a colossal earthen sculpture, the largest effigy mound in the world, stretching an astonishing 1,348 feet along a plateau overlooking Brush Creek Valley. Imagine a gigantic snake, its body gracefully uncoiling in 7 sinuous curves, its tail winding into a triple spiral, and its head pointing west towards the sunset. Built by the ancient culture, likely around 1070 CE, this monumental earthwork stands as a silent, yet imposing, testament to a sophisticated, astronomically aware, and deeply spiritual people. What makes the Serpent Mound so profoundly enigmatic, even among other ancient mounds, is its baffling emptiness. Unlike most other effigy mounds or burial mounds, extensive archaeological investigations have revealed no burials, no artifacts, and no signs of habitation within its earthen coils. This absence of traditional archaeological findings forces us to confront a fundamental question: what was its purpose if not a tomb or a dwelling place? The primary and most compelling theories surrounding the Great Serpent Mound revolve around its profound spiritual significance and its intricate connection to celestial events. The very form of the serpent, a powerful and pervasive symbol across countless ancient cultures, suggests a deep spiritual meaning. In many indigenous traditions, the serpent represents creation, transformation, fertility, and the cyclical nature of life and death. For the ancient people, this monumental serpent may have embodied a cosmic force, a deity, or a sacred being that traversed both the underworld and the heavens. Its winding form could symbolize the flow of rivers, the path of the sun, or the eternal dance of life. The act of constructing such an immense and detailed effigy, requiring immense communal effort and careful planning, would have been a profound act of devotion, a way to connect with the spiritual realm and to honor the forces that govern their world. It was a sacred landscape, a place of profound ritual, perhaps for ceremonies marking important seasonal changes, or for rites of passage that mirrored the serpent's journey of renewal. This was not a burial ground to house the dead, but a living, breathing sacred space designed to interact with the sun, moon, and spirit world, adding to the mystery and supporting the theories of its ritualistic purpose are the precise astronomical alignments embedded within the Serpent Mound's design. The serpent's head, with its open jaw, points directly towards the summer solstice sunset, a critical marker in the annual cycle. The coils of its body align with other significant solar events, such as the winter solstice sunrise and the equinoxes. Even more remarkably, some researchers propose that specific curves within the serpent's body align with key lunar phases, particularly the extreme northern and southern moonrises and moonsets. This level of astronomical precision, achieved by a culture without written language or advanced instruments, points to an incredibly sophisticated understanding of the cosmos. It suggests that the builders were keen observers of the heavens, meticulously tracking celestial movements over long periods. The mound would have functioned as a vast, open-air observatory, a giant calendar etched into the earth itself, allowing the ancient people to predict crucial seasonal changes, guide their agricultural cycles, and synchronize their religious festivals with the rhythms of the cosmos. This was a direct connection between earth and sky, a monumental expression of their place within the grand order of the universe, demonstrating a scientific and spiritual insight that continues to astound. The most baffling aspect of the Great Serpent Mound, however, remains the puzzling absence of traditional archaeological findings within the mound itself. Unlike other mounds, which often contain burials, artifacts, or evidence of ancient rituals, the Serpent Mound is remarkably clean. Extensive excavations have revealed no human remains, no pottery shards, no tools, no offerings, nothing that typically points to a funerary or domestic purpose. This perplexing void fuels the debate about its exact function. If it wasn't a burial site and it wasn't a place of habitation, what exactly happened there? Some hypothesize that the rituals performed at the mound might have been ephemeral, leaving no permanent traces. Perhaps they involved dances, songs, or ceremonies that left no material evidence. Others suggest that the mound itself was the primary sacred object, and its power lay not in what it contained, but in its form, its alignment, and the very act of its creation. It was a space designed for observation and spiritual connection, a monumental symbol rather than a repository of physical objects. This absence of archaeological clutter deepens the mystery and forces us to look beyond conventional interpretations of ancient earthworks, inviting us to consider a culture whose relationship with the sacred was perhaps less about tangible offerings and more about monumental declaration. The Great Serpent Mound, therefore, stands as a silent, winding question mark on the landscape of Ohio, its secrets held tightly within its earthen coils, challenging us to look beyond the obvious and to contemplate the profound spiritual and cosmic understandings of its ancient builders. From the monumental earthworks carved into the landscape, our journey now takes a dramatic descent beneath the surface, plunging into the incredible subterranean world of Derinkuyu, one of Turkey's most baffling and extensive underground cities. Located within the surreal, fairy chimney landscape of Cappadocia, this isn't just a cave, it's an astonishing feat of ancient engineering, a multi-level labyrinth carved directly into the soft volcanic rock stretching deep into the earth. Imagine an entire city meticulously sculpted out of stone, capable of housing an estimated 20,000 people, along with their livestock, food stores, and essential resources, all hidden from the world above. Its very existence beneath the rolling Anatolian plains defies conventional understanding, presenting a profound mystery about the ingenuity, resilience, and sheer determination of ancient civilizations to survive. The sheer scale of Derinkuyu is difficult to comprehend. It plunges into the earth for at least 18 known levels, though some estimates suggest even more lie undiscovered, reaching depths of over 280 feet. Within this subterranean metropolis, ancient inhabitants carved out an astonishing array of facilities: living quarters, communal kitchens with ventilation shafts to clear smoke, stables large enough for hundreds of animals, wine and oil presses, chapels, schools, and even a sophisticated network of escape routes and rolling stone doors designed to seal off passageways from intruders. This wasn't a temporary hideout, it was a self-sustaining underground world, capable of supporting a significant population for extended periods. The question that immediately arises is how. How did these ancient people, using only rudimentary tools like chisels and picks, excavate millions of cubic feet of rock, carving with such precision that each chamber and tunnel served a practical purpose? The labor required would have been immense, a testament to collective effort and an urgent need for security that drove such an extraordinary undertaking. One of the most remarkable and perplexing aspects of Derinkuyu is its incredibly sophisticated ventilation system. For thousands of people and animals to live comfortably hundreds of feet underground for weeks or even months at a time, a constant supply of fresh air would have been absolutely critical. Yet, Derinkuyu features over 50 ventilation shafts, some reaching the surface, others connecting various levels, ensuring a continuous flow of air throughout the vast complex. This wasn't simply a matter of digging holes, it required a deep understanding of fluid dynamics, air pressure, and possibly even geothermal principles to create a system that could adequately ventilate an entire city. How did they prevent stale air pockets or ensure that carbon dioxide and animal waste fumes were effectively dispersed from the lower levels? The very act of designing and implementing such a complex air circulation system without any modern scientific instruments or engineering knowledge points to a level of practical ingenuity that continues to astound. This wasn't a happy accident. It was a deliberate, meticulously planned environmental control system, vital for survival in such an enclosed space. The purpose of Derinkuyu and its numerous sister cities in Cappadocia remains largely tied to a story of refuge and survival. While their exact origins are debated, archaeological evidence suggests that some parts of these underground complexes date back to the Phrygians in the 8th to 7th centuries BC. Subsequent civilizations, including the Persians and particularly the early Christians, expanded and utilized these subterranean shelters as crucial havens from invasion and persecution. During the Byzantine era, as Arab raids intensified in the 7th and 8th centuries CE, these hidden cities became vital sanctuaries. The ability to disappear underground, taking livestock and supplies, must have been a powerful deterrent against marauding armies. However, the mystery extends beyond their defensive function. How did these diverse cultures over centuries maintain the knowledge and skills necessary to not only survive but continuously expand such complex subterranean structures? And what psychological toll did prolonged periods of subterranean isolation take on a population accustomed to the sun and open air? While offering protection, life within Derinkuyu would have been dark, cramped, and entirely dependent on the integrity of the ventilation and water supply systems. The very act of choosing such a life, even under duress, speaks volumes about the extreme threats they faced and the incredible lengths to which ancient peoples would go to secure their safety. The lingering questions about the human experience within these silent, stone-hewn cities make Derinkuyu a profound and deeply human mystery, echoing with the whispers of countless lives once lived in its hidden depths. From the hidden chambers of Derinkuyu, our journey now takes a dramatic leap across continents and millennia to the arid, semi-desert territory of Azerbaijan, where the ancient echoes of human creativity resonate across the Gobestan rock art cultural landscape. This isn't a city of monumental structures or a forgotten defense system. It's an open-air gallery spanning 40,000 years of human history, etched into the very rocks of the earth. A UNESCO World Heritage Site, Gobestan is a sprawling testament to prehistoric life, home to a staggering collection of over 600,000 rock carvings known as petroglyphs, along with enigmatic mud volcanoes and the truly baffling gavel dash, unique musical stones. Imagine a landscape where every rock face tells a story, where the very ground breathes with geological wonders, and where ancient sounds can still be conjured from seemingly inert stone. The sheer volume and temporal depth of the rock art, depicting scenes of prehistoric hunting, ritualistic dances, everyday life, and a menagerie of animal figures, immediately spark a profound connection with our distant ancestors, inviting us to decipher the messages they left for us, frozen in time on the enduring canvas of stone. The primary and most enchanting mystery of Gobestan revolves around the gavel dash, or singing stone. These aren't just any rocks, they are large, flat stones, often positioned atop smaller rocks that, when struck with another smaller stone, produce distinct metallic and resonant sounds. The sounds vary from a deep, drum-like thrum to a higher-pitched, almost tambourine-like clang, each gavel dash possessing its own unique acoustic signature. These aren't naturally occurring musical instruments in the conventional sense, like a hollow log or a stretched hide, but rather geological formations that, through their specific composition, shape, and placement, demonstrate remarkable sonic properties. The profound mystery lies in how these prehistoric people discovered these unique acoustic qualities. Did they stumble upon them by accident during daily activities, perhaps while chipping tools or preparing food? Or did they possess an intuitive, perhaps even ritualistic, understanding of the resonant properties of different rock formations? The very act of recognizing and then utilizing these stones for their sound-producing capabilities speaks volumes about the observational skills and the curious, experimental nature of our ancient forebears. It suggests a civilization that was not merely surviving, but actively exploring and incorporating the natural world into their cultural and spiritual practices. The sheer effort to differentiate these musical stones from ordinary rocks, and perhaps even position them to enhance their sounds, points to a deliberate artistic and auditory intent. The deeper meaning behind the Gobeston rock art, particularly in conjunction with the gavel dash, often points towards shamanistic practices and ancient rituals. Many of the petroglyphs depict scenes of communal dances, often involving figures with exaggerated limbs or horned headdresses, suggesting a trance-like state or ceremonial movements. These yale dances, still practiced in Azerbaijan today, are thought to be ancient forms of ritualistic expression. Imagine these scenes brought to life by the rhythmic, percussive sounds of the gavel dash, creating an immersive, multi-sensory experience for the participants. In shamanistic cultures, music and rhythm are often central to inducing altered states of consciousness, facilitating communication with the spirit world and performing healing rituals. The gavel dash could have provided the vital rhythmic backbone for these ceremonies, their resonant sounds serving as a conduit to the supernatural, aiding shamans in their spiritual journeys. The petroglyphs, therefore, might not just be artistic representations, but visual records of these very rituals, maps of their spiritual landscape, and guides for their trance-inducing dances. The convergence of ancient art, natural acoustics, and the unique geology of Gobeston creates a powerful argument for its role as a sacred site, a place where the physical and spiritual worlds intertwined, with music acting as a profound bridge between them. Beyond the shamanistic theories, the Gobeston rock art cultural landscape also provides invaluable insights into the daily lives, beliefs, and ecological environment of ancient human societies in the Caucasus region. The thousands of petroglyphs offer a raw, unfiltered glimpse into their world, depicting a rich biodiversity that no longer exists in the area: gazelles, wild bulls, and even large predators, painting a picture of a much greener, more fertile landscape than the semi-desert of today. Scenes of hunting, often with bows and arrows, provide clues about their subsistence strategies and technological advancements. Images of boats, some with solar symbols, suggest a connection to coastal life and perhaps even early seafaring capabilities, hinting at ancient trade or migration routes across the Caspian Sea. The progression of artistic styles across the millennia also offers a unique timeline of human thought and creative expression, from the earliest, more naturalistic depictions to later, more stylized forms. The sheer act of carving these images, often with crude stone tools, demonstrates an immense dedication to recording their world, their stories, and their spiritual understanding for future generations. It showcases the fundamental human impulse to create, to communicate, and to leave a lasting mark, transforming the natural environment into a living archive of their existence, accessible across thousands of years. The lasting enigma of Gobeston, therefore, lies not just in the how of the gavel dash or the specific purposes of its art, but in the profound connection it allows us to forge with our deep past. It offers a rare opportunity to step into the mind of prehistoric people, to experience a fragment of their world through the sights and sounds they meticulously crafted or discovered. The mud volcanoes, bubbling with ancient gases, add another spectral layer to this already otherworldly landscape, perhaps inspiring the very myths and spiritual beliefs that found expression in the rock art. Whether used for grand ceremonies, simple communal gatherings, or as primal sound markers in a vast, ancient territory, the gavel dash, alongside the thousands of petroglyphs, transforms Gobeston into a multi-sensory time capsule, a place where the echoes of ancient music and the silent stories etched in stone continue to challenge our understanding of early human ingenuity, spiritual belief, and the enduring power of artistic expression. From the ancient rhythms of singing stones in Azerbaijan, our journey now arcs across oceans and continents, bringing us to a truly enigmatic site nestled in the floodplains of northeastern Louisiana, Poverty Point. This isn't a city of towering temples or sprawling palaces, but a monumental earthwork complex, a silent testament to the ingenuity and organizational prowess of a society that, by all conventional archaeological understanding, simply shouldn't have been able to build it. Constructed by a remarkable group of hunter-gatherers between 1700 and 1100 BCE, Poverty Point predates many of the well-known ancient civilizations of Mesoamerica and is one of the largest and most complex prehistoric earthworks in all of North America. Imagine a landscape meticulously sculpted into 6 concentric, C-shaped earthen ridges, each separated by ditches extending for over half a mile across, all culminating in a central plaza. Around this vast, intentional landscape, several large mounds rise, including Mound A, which measures 72 feet high and 640 feet long at its base, taking the form of a bird in flight. The sheer scale of this undertaking, the precise geometry, and the immense labor required for its construction are utterly baffling when considering that it was built by a non-agricultural society, a people who lived by hunting, fishing, and gathering. The most profound mystery of Poverty Point lies in how such a massive construction project was organized and executed by a society of hunter-gatherers. For decades, archaeological theory held that monumental architecture, large-scale public works, and complex social stratification, with specialized labor and a ruling elite to command it, only emerged with the advent of agriculture and the resulting food surpluses that allowed for a sedentary lifestyle and a non-food producing class. Poverty Point completely upends this notion. These were not farmers with consistent harvests. They were nomadic or semi-nomadic groups, reliant on the unpredictable bounty of the land and waters. So, how did they mobilize the immense workforce needed to move millions of cubic feet of earth, shaping it into such precise and elaborate forms? It suggests a level of social cohesion, leadership, and communal effort far beyond what was previously thought possible for such early societies. Perhaps there was a charismatic leader or a powerful religious ideology that transcended typical social structures, compelling diverse groups to come together for a common purpose. The very existence of Poverty Point challenges our preconceived notions about the trajectory of human societal development, forcing us to consider that complex social organization and monumental construction can arise from different pathways than previously understood. Adding another layer to the enigma are the thousands upon thousands of tiny, fired clay objects found scattered across the site and nearby areas, affectionately dubbed Poverty Point objects, or PPO. These small, often thumb-sized spheres, cylinders, and biconical shapes are typically made from loess, a fine, silty soil, and appear to have been intentionally fired to harden them. Their purpose remains one of archaeology's most enduring debates. Some theories suggest they were cooking balls, heated in fires and then dropped into woven baskets or pits to cook food, a method of stone boiling when suitable stones were scarce in the alluvial plain. Other hypotheses propose they were used as sling projectiles for hunting, counterweights for fishing nets, or even ceremonial objects. The sheer quantity of PPOs often found in concentrated deposits suggests a highly specialized and widespread use, but their exact function is still elusive. Were they multi-purpose tools, or did they serve a very specific, perhaps ritualistic, role that we don't yet understand? The mystery of these ubiquitous little clay balls underscores the unique and often perplexing nature of the material culture left behind by the Poverty Point builders. Beyond the how of its construction and the what of its peculiar artifacts, the ultimate function of Poverty Point is still a subject of intense academic speculation. One prominent theory posits it as a massive trading hub. Its strategic location on a bluff overlooking the Bayou Macon, a distributary of the Mississippi River, would have made it an ideal crossroads for ancient trade networks. Archaeologists have found exotic materials at the site, such as copper from the Great Lakes region, obsidian from distant volcanoes, and various types of stone from the Ouachita and Ozark Mountains, indicating a vast and active exchange system. Perhaps Poverty Point served as a seasonal rendezvous point where various hunter-gatherer groups congregated for trade, resource sharing, and social interaction, and the construction of the earthworks was a communal project reinforcing these alliances. Another compelling theory suggests its primary role was as a grand ceremonial center. The precise geometric layout, the deliberate shaping of the landscape, and the immense effort invested all point to a sacred space, a place where people gathered for rituals, spiritual observances, and communal celebrations. The structure itself might have been a physical manifestation of their cosmology, a place to connect with the spiritual world and reinforce shared beliefs. Intriguingly, the astronomical alignments within Poverty Point suggest it may also have served as an ancient observatory. Some researchers propose that the meticulous layout of the ridges and mounds aligns with solstices, equinoxes, and possibly other celestial events, serving as a giant calendar or a tool for tracking the movements of the sun and moon. The bird effigy mound, in particular with its orientation, hints at a connection to sky gazing. This level of celestial awareness, combined with the sheer scale of the engineering, paints a picture of a sophisticated culture deeply attuned to both their terrestrial and celestial environments. The purpose of Poverty Point was likely multifaceted, encompassing trade, ceremony, and astronomical observation, reflecting the complex and interconnected lives of its builders. The lingering questions about its true function, the inexplicable social organization that allowed its construction, and the puzzling PPOs make Poverty Point a truly remarkable and profoundly mysterious ruin, challenging us to rethink the capabilities of ancient American hunter-gatherer societies and the diverse paths human civilization can take. From the monumental earthen effigies of North America, our journey now takes a dramatic cross-continental leap to the sun-drenched, rugged coastlines of southwestern Turkey, where the ancient Lycian civilization left behind a truly breathtaking and utterly perplexing legacy, their incredible rock-cut tombs. These aren't just simple burial sites, they are an awe-inspiring array of elaborate, often temple-like structures, meticulously carved directly into the sheer, unforgiving cliff faces, primarily between the 5th and 4th centuries BC. Imagine sailing along the turquoise Mediterranean, looking up to see ornate building facades, complete with columns, pediments, and intricate doorways, seemingly defying gravity as they cling to vertical rock hundreds of feet above the ground. The sight alone is enough to inspire wonder. These monumental tombs, found dotted along the ancient Lycian Way, particularly concentrated in places like Myra Dema, Pinara, and Xanthos, stand as a powerful testament to a unique funerary practice, a sophisticated artistic vision, and an engineering audacity that continues to baffle modern researchers. The most profound mystery surrounding the Lycian tombs lies in the incredible precision and sheer difficulty of their construction. How did these ancient artisans, equipped only with bronze or iron chisels, mallets, and an understanding of rudimentary levers, manage to carve such intricate and detailed structures directly into the hard rock face at often dizzying, inaccessible heights? Think about the logistics involved. To achieve the fluted columns, the perfectly symmetrical architraves, the delicate door frames, and the often life-sized human and animal figures that adorn many of these facades, the sculptors would have needed stable, secure platforms from which to work. But there's little archaeological evidence of the extensive scaffolding or complex lifting mechanisms that would have been required for such projects. Theories suggest they might have worked from the top down, progressively removing the lower sections of scaffolding as they completed the carving. Or perhaps they employed ingenious systems involving ropes, pulleys, and possibly even temporary wooden structures built into existing rock features. The very notion of painstakingly chiseling away at a vertical rock face, often hundreds of feet up with the precision required to mimic the aesthetics of a freestanding temple, speaks to an almost unimaginable level of skill, patience, and a complete disregard for personal safety. This wasn't merely about digging a hole, it was about sculpting an entire architectural illusion from solid stone, a monumental feat that continues to defy easy explanation and challenges our understanding of ancient construction capabilities. Beyond the how, the unique form and placement of the Lycian tombs offer fascinating insights into their cultural beliefs, particularly their profound reverence for the dead and their distinctive funerary practices. Unlike many other ancient cultures that buried their dead in the ground or in subterranean chambers, the Lycians chose to elevate their deceased, placing their tombs high in the cliffs closer to the heavens. This practice is believed to stem from their belief in mythical winged creatures that would transport the souls of the dead to the afterlife. By situating the tombs at such elevated positions, they were literally bringing their deceased closer to these celestial intermediaries. The architectural styles of the tombs themselves are also highly symbolic, often mimicking the wooden houses and temples of the living, complete with details like carved beams, interlocking joints, and even pitched roofs. This suggests a desire to provide a familiar and comfortable, eternal home for the deceased, a continuation of earthly comforts in the afterlife. The most elaborate tombs, often resembling Greek temples with their grand facades, would likely have belonged to kings, aristocrats, and wealthy merchants, serving not only as elaborate burial places but also as powerful symbols of their status and influence even in death. The sheer variety of tomb styles, ranging from simple rock-cut chambers to more elaborate house-type tombs and the iconic temple-type facades, reflects the diverse social stratification within Lycian society, each designed to ensure a proper and dignified passage for the soul according to their status. The strategic and often inaccessible placement of the Lycian tombs also points to a practical purpose rooted in their unique cultural and political structure. The Lycians were known for their fierce independence and their confederacy of city-states, and their mountainous terrain often provided natural defenses. By carving tombs high into the cliffs, they not only honored their dead in a spiritual sense, but also protected their ancestral resting places from defilement and grave robbery. The difficulty of reaching these tombs would have acted as a formidable deterrent, safeguarding the valuable grave goods and the sanctity of the deceased for centuries. This blend of spiritual belief and practical security is a hallmark of Lycian ingenuity. Furthermore, the very act of constructing these tombs was likely a profound communal expression, a way to honor their lineage and reinforce the identity of the family or city-state. Each major city vied to create the most impressive and visually striking necropolis, turning the very cliffs into a canvas for their collective memory and their enduring connection to their ancestors. The Lycian tombs, therefore, are far more than mere ruins. They are a profound statement etched in stone, a testament to a civilization's unique worldview, their incredible artistic skill, and their audacious ambition to transcend the earthly realm and reach for the heavens, leaving behind a legacy that continues to captivate and puzzle all who gaze upon their silent, cliffside grandeur. From the awe-inspiring, cliff-carved legacies of the Lycians, our journey now takes a dramatic pivot to the windswept, fertile islands of Scotland, specifically returning to the Orkney archipelago, where another extraordinary prehistoric site awaits, Skara Brae. This isn't a tomb or a temple, but a remarkably preserved Neolithic village, often called the Scottish Pompeii, because of its astonishing state of preservation. Dating back to around 3180 to 2500 BCE, Skara Brae offers an unparalleled window into everyday life of early European farmers and herders. Imagine stepping into a settlement that has been frozen in time, its stone walls, pathways, and even the furniture still intact, buried silently under sand dunes for millennia, only to be dramatically uncovered by a fierce storm in 1850. This site completely reshapes our understanding of prehistoric domestic life, revealing a level of comfort, ingenuity, and community planning that often baffles modern observers and challenges preconceived notions about the primitive nature of early human settlements. The true marvel of Skara Brae, and one of its enduring mysteries, lies in its ingenious construction and the surprisingly advanced level of domestic comfort it provided. Unlike many other ancient sites built with massive, individual megaliths, Skara Brae's houses were ingeniously constructed almost entirely from local flat flagstones quarried nearby. These stones were meticulously dry stacked without mortar to form sturdy walls that created a series of interconnected semi-subterranean dwellings, providing excellent insulation against the harsh Orkney climate. But it's inside these remarkably preserved homes that the true genius of the builders shines through. Each house features an astonishing array of built-in stone furniture, beds, cupboards, shelves, dressers, and even tanks for holding shellfish or fresh water. Every piece was crafted with remarkable precision, fitting seamlessly into the domestic space, demonstrating a thoughtful approach to living that provided both functional utility and a surprising degree of comfort for its inhabitants. Moreover, the village boasted a sophisticated, albeit rudimentary, drainage system that included stone-flush toilets in some of the dwellings, a remarkable amenity for societies thousands of years before the Romans. This level of domestic sophistication, combined with the careful planning of communal spaces and covered passageways connecting the houses, paints a picture of a settled, well-organized community with a deep understanding of their local environment and innovative solutions for daily living. Perhaps the most perplexing mystery surrounding Skara Brae is its sudden and seemingly complete abandonment, and the factors that led to its eventual burial beneath the sand. For centuries, the village thrived, its inhabitants adapting to the changing landscape and climate, developing a rich material culture and a complex social structure. Yet, around 2500 BC, the village appears to have been rapidly deserted. Was it a dramatic environmental shift, perhaps a series of severe storms, or a gradual increase in sand encroachment that made the site uninhabitable? The very storm that uncovered it also highlights the dynamic nature of coastal environments and the constant battle against the elements. Or was it a more gradual process of cultural change, a shift in settlement patterns, or perhaps a migration driven by resource scarcity or new social dynamics that led the inhabitants to seek new homes elsewhere? The archaeological evidence suggests that many valuable items were simply left behind, implying a hasty departure rather than a planned migration. The subsequent burial by drifting sand dunes, while perhaps devastating for its inhabitants, ultimately acted as a natural preservation agent, protecting the village from the ravages of time and human activity for thousands of years, offering us this extraordinary glimpse into their daily lives. The tale of Skara Brae challenges our conventional understanding of early human history and the progression of civilization. It shatters the stereotype of primitive prehistoric people, revealing a society capable of advanced architectural techniques, sophisticated domestic planning, and remarkable adaptability to their environment. These were not mere survivalists, they were innovative builders, skilled artisans, and members of a closely knit community who created a comfortable and functional living space that was remarkably advanced for its time. The meticulously preserved stone furniture, the interconnected houses, and the ingenious drainage systems force us to re-evaluate what we mean by civilization in the Neolithic period. It stands as a powerful reminder that complex societies with profound knowledge and ingenuity existed in diverse forms across the globe, often leaving behind legacies that continue to astound and challenge our modern perspectives. Skara Brae, therefore, is not just a collection of ruins, it is a profound testament to the untapped potential and unrecorded brilliance of our ancient ancestors, a silent stone village that speaks volumes about the human capacity for innovation and adaptation, even in the most remote corners of the world. From the surprisingly advanced domesticity of Skara Brae, our journey now transports us to the dramatic, sun-scorched landscapes of Jordan, where the ancient city of Petra rises quite literally out of vibrant red sandstone cliffs. This isn't just a ruin, it's an entire city carved directly into the living rock, revealing a breathtaking blend of natural beauty and incredible human endeavor. The capital of the Nabatean kingdom, Petra, though its existence is well documented in historical records, continues to inspire awe and profound mystery due to the sheer scale of its rock-cut architecture. Imagine walking through the narrow Sikh, a winding gorge that dramatically reveals the iconic Al-Kosne, often called the Treasury, its elaborate facade meticulously sculpted into the cliff face. Beyond the treasury, the city unfolds, revealing a sprawling metropolis of tombs, temples, and living quarters, all intricately carved from the rosy sandstone. The mystery of Petra isn't why it exists, but how did the Nabateans, a once nomadic Arab people, develop such sophisticated engineering and urban planning to support a thriving city of perhaps 20,000 people in such an arid desert environment? And why did this powerful and prosperous kingdom eventually decline and abandon its rock-hewn marvel? The most profound and enduring mystery of Petra lies in the Nabateans' mastery of water, a skill that allowed a flourishing city to exist in a desert. These were people who understood the preciousness of every drop in an incredibly arid region where average rainfall is minimal. They developed an ingenious and highly sophisticated hydraulic engineering system that captured, channeled, and conserved water with astonishing efficiency. Imagine an intricate network of dams, cisterns, reservoirs carved into the rock, and ceramic pipelines that stretched for miles, meticulously designed to collect every available drop of rainwater and divert it from flash floods. These systems not only supplied water for domestic consumption and drinking, but also supported extensive agriculture and even decorative gardens within the city. How did a seemingly nomadic people acquire such advanced hydrological knowledge? Were they influenced by earlier civilizations, or did they develop these skills organically through centuries of adapting to harsh desert conditions? The sheer scale and complexity of this water management system, turning a barren landscape into a thriving oasis, speaks volumes about their ingenuity, foresight, and their unparalleled ability to harmonize with and even control their challenging environment. Their precise engineering allowed them to build a civilization where others would have found only an insurmountable wilderness. Beyond their water wizardry, Petra's strategic location played a crucial role in its prosperity and consequently its mysteries. The Nabateans positioned their capital at the crossroads of major ancient trade routes, connecting the Arabian Peninsula with Mesopotamia, Egypt, and the Mediterranean. This allowed them to control the lucrative trade in frankincense, myrrh, spices, and other luxury goods that flowed through the region. Tucked away within a natural fortress of jagged cliffs, Petra offered caravans a secure and well-watered stopover, making it an indispensable hub for desert commerce. This control over trade brought immense wealth, which in turn funded the city's monumental architecture, allowing the Nabateans to express their artistic and religious aspirations through the elaborate carving of their city. The unique blend of architectural styles seen in Petra, combining indigenous Nabatean elements with influences from Egyptian, Assyrian, Greek, and Roman cultures, reflects its cosmopolitan nature as a vibrant melting pot of trade and ideas. However, this very prosperity often attracts unwanted attention, and the mystery deepens as we consider the pressures, both internal and external, that such a strategically vital city would have faced from competing empires and shifting geopolitical landscapes. Its wealth was its strength, but also its potential vulnerability. Perhaps the greatest and most baffling mystery surrounding Petra is the unknown reason for its eventual decline and abandonment. By the 4th century CE, the city's power began to wane, and by the 7th century it was largely deserted, becoming a lost city, known only to local Bedouin tribes until its rediscovery by Johann Ludwig Burckhardt in 1812. No single catastrophic event, like a massive earthquake or a devastating invasion, is definitively cited as the sole cause of its demise. Instead, archaeologists and historians propose a complex interplay of factors, a slow unraveling rather than a sudden collapse. One prominent theory points to shifting trade routes. As Roman maritime trade expanded and new sea lanes became more dominant, the overland trade routes that had sustained Petra slowly diminished in importance, leading to a decline in its economic vitality. Another significant factor was likely a series of powerful earthquakes. While the Nabateans' architecture was remarkably resilient, severe seismic events in the 4th and 6th centuries CE caused significant damage to Petra's infrastructure, including its vital water systems, making the city increasingly difficult to maintain and inhabit. Furthermore, political instability, changing climate patterns leading to prolonged droughts, and even plague could have contributed to the city's gradual depopulation. The very innovation that allowed Petra to thrive, its complex water system, could also have been its Achilles heel if supply became unreliable or maintenance became impossible. The mystery is not just why people left, but why such an incredibly resilient and well-defended city, built with such foresight and ingenuity, eventually succumbed to the forces of time and change. It serves as a poignant reminder that even the most monumental and strategically placed civilizations are not immune to the inexorable march of history, reminding us that even the most innovative and carefully planned societies can ultimately become silent witnesses to the shifting sands of time, their secrets etched into the very rock that once defined them. From the desert wonders carved by industrious Nabateans, our journey now plunges deep into the emerald heart of the Mexican jungle, where the ancient Mayan city of Palenque emerges from the mists, a breathtaking testament to a civilization renowned for its profound intellectual achievements. This isn't just a collection of ruins, it's a city of ethereal beauty, its temples and palaces adorned with stucco reliefs and intricate carvings, nestled within the verdant embrace of Chiapas. Palenque is celebrated for its exquisite architecture, its remarkably detailed hieroglyphic inscriptions that unlock a wealth of historical knowledge, and above all, the astonishing discovery of the tomb of Pakal the Great. While many Mayan cities across Mesoamerica eventually succumbed to environmental pressures or warfare, leading to their abandonment, Palenque's decline around the 9th century CE remains somewhat enigmatic, a puzzle piece in the larger, perplexing Maya collapse. The mysteries surrounding Palenque often center on the seemingly advanced astronomical and mathematical knowledge embedded within its structures and the intricate narratives etched into its stone, particularly the famous sarcophagus lid of Pakal, which has ironically sparked one of archaeology's most enduring and often controversial interpretations, the Palenque spaceman. The enigmatic sarcophagus lid of Pakal the Great, discovered within the Temple of the Inscriptions in 1952, offers a profound glimpse into Maya cosmology, yet it has become a central point of contention and misinterpretation. This massive, intricately carved limestone slab depicts a figure widely identified by Mayanists as Pakal himself in a reclining position. Traditional archaeological interpretations, grounded in extensive decipherment of Maya hieroglyphic texts and iconographic analysis, explain the image as Pakal at the moment of his death, descending into the underworld Xibalba through the jaws of a monstrous creature. He is shown connected to a cosmic tree or tree of life, representing the axis mundi that links the earthly realm, the underworld, and the celestial sphere. Surrounding him are intricate cosmological symbols, aspects of the sun, moon, and constellations, along with symbols of maize and regeneration, emphasizing the cyclical nature of life, death, and rebirth. This interpretation, supported by decades of careful scholarship, places the iconography squarely within the rich and complex framework of Maya religious beliefs and their intricate understanding of the cosmos. It paints Pakal not as a literal astronaut, but as a divine king undertaking a sacred journey, ensuring the continuity and prosperity of his people even in death. However, the powerful visual imagery of Pakal's sarcophagus lid, especially when viewed out of its cultural and historical context, has given rise to the enduring Palinck spaceman theory, popularized by figures like Erich von Däniken. Proponents of this idea interpret the reclining figure as an ancient astronaut piloting some kind of spacecraft. They point to what they perceive as control panels, foot pedals, and even a breathing apparatus, suggesting an advanced technological device rather than a mythological descent. This theory posits that ancient civilizations, including the Maya, were visited by extraterrestrial beings who imparted technological knowledge, explaining otherwise unexplainable feats of engineering or scientific understanding. While compelling to the imagination, this interpretation faces overwhelming criticism from mainstream archaeology and history. Mayanists argue that such an interpretation ignores the vast body of evidence from other Maya artifacts, texts, and religious practices that consistently depict similar cosmological scenes. The control panel details are interpreted as features of the cosmic tree or underworld monster, and the breathing apparatus as common elements of Maya royal attire or ritualistic adornment. The debate over the spaceman highlights a fundamental challenge in deciphering ancient mysteries: the conflict between speculative, often sensational, interpretations that appeal to a sense of alien intervention, and the painstaking, rigorous work of archaeological and linguistic analysis that seeks to understand ancient cultures on their own terms within their own complex worldviews. The decipherment of the Maya writing system, a monumental intellectual achievement of the 20th century, has been crucial in unraveling many of Palinck's mysteries and providing context for monuments like Pakal's sarcophagus. For a long time, Maya hieroglyphs were thought to be purely ideographic or symbolic, representing abstract concepts rather than a spoken language. However, breakthroughs in the mid-20th century, particularly by scholars like Yuri Norizov and Linda Scheel, proved that the Maya script was a complex logographic and phonetic system, capable of recording history, lineage, rituals, and astronomical observations with remarkable precision. Thanks to this decipherment, we now know detailed histories of Palinck's rulers, including Pakal's birth, accession, and death dates, his dynastic lineage, and the conquests and alliances that shaped his reign. The hieroglyphic panels within the Temple of the Inscriptions recount Pakal's life story and his connection to the deities, providing a rich narrative that contextualizes the imagery of his tomb. This ability to read the Maya's own words has transformed our understanding of their civilization, revealing them not as mystical, otherworldly beings, but as sophisticated, historically minded people with a deep intellectual tradition, an obsession with time, and a complex political landscape. The decipherment reveals the full depth of their astronomical, mathematical, and calendrical knowledge, all meticulously recorded in their intricate texts. Despite the wealth of knowledge gained from decipherment, the ultimate collapse of the classic Maya civilization, including Palinck's abandonment, remains one of Mesoamerica's most enduring and multifaceted mysteries. By the 9th century CE, most of the major Maya centers in the southern lowlands, including Palinck, Tikal, and Copan, experienced a rapid decline in monument construction, a cessation of long-count calendar inscriptions, and a drastic reduction in population, leading to their eventual abandonment. Unlike a single, clear-cut event like an invasion, the Maya collapse appears to have been a complex process driven by a combination of interlocking factors. One leading theory points to severe, prolonged droughts exacerbated by environmental degradation. Centuries of intensive agriculture and forest clearing to support a massive population could have led to soil erosion and reduced rainfall, making the region increasingly unsustainable. Evidence from lakebed sediment cores supports the occurrence of significant droughts during this period. Another theory emphasizes endemic warfare. Hieroglyphic inscriptions reveal an increase in inter-city conflict and aggression, suggesting that rising competition for resources and political dominance may have destabilized the region, leading to widespread social unrest and displacement. Other contributing factors include disease, shifts in trade routes, and potential internal social or political unrest. The sophisticated yet highly centralized social structure of the Maya, with its powerful kings and priestly elite, may have become unsustainable when faced with mounting environmental and social pressures. The mystery is not just what happened, but why these highly intelligent, adaptable, and advanced societies, with their profound understanding of their environment, could not overcome these challenges. The case of Palenque, with its rich historical record provided by the deciphered hieroglyphs, offers detailed insights into one such city's response to these regional pressures, providing a microcosm of the larger, mysterious collapse. The ultimate abandonment of this vibrant city, leaving its beautiful temples and palaces to be reclaimed by the jungle, underscores the inherent fragility of even the most sophisticated civilizations when confronted with complex, interconnected challenges, a silent testament to the enduring questions about the rise and fall of great empires. From the intricate narratives carved into Mayan stone, our journey takes a dramatic shift, not to a man-made ruin, but to a natural landmark steeped in myth and profound historical significance, the Pillars of Hercules. These aren't crumbling temples or lost cities in the traditional sense, but the colossal promontories flanking the Strait of Gibraltar, the narrow gateway separating the Atlantic Ocean from the Mediterranean Sea. To the ancient Greeks and Romans, these towering geological formations, the Rock of Gibraltar on the European side and Monte Hacho, or sometimes Jebel Musa in Morocco on the African side, marked the very edge of the known world. Beyond them lay the vast, untamed, and often terrifying expanse of the ocean sea, a realm of monsters, myths, and unimaginable dangers. The mystery of the Pillars of Hercules lies not in their construction, for they are entirely natural, but in their immense symbolic power, their profound influence on ancient navigation and exploration, and their enduring connection to tales of mythical lands and lost civilizations, particularly the enduring legend of Atlantis. They stand as a silent yet powerful testament to humanity's early geographical understanding, its fears, and its boundless curiosity, defining a boundary between the familiar and the utterly unknown. The mythological context surrounding the Pillars of Hercules is as rich and complex as the geological history of the strait itself, weaving together threads of divine labor, heroic deeds, and the very shaping of the ancient world. According to Greek myth, it was the demigod Hercules tasked with his 10th labor to retrieve the cattle of the monster Geryon from the far west, who either split a single mountain to create the strait, thus connecting the Atlantic and Mediterranean, or narrowed an existing strait to prevent sea monsters from entering the Mediterranean. He then erected 2 pillars, either as a monument to his journey's end or as a warning to sailors not to venture further. This powerful narrative cemented the pillars' role as a physical and symbolic boundary. They represented the ultima thule, the furthest reaches of human endeavor, a point beyond which lay unimaginable perils and the domain of the gods. For centuries, ancient mariners, limited by their technology and navigating by coastline, rarely dared to venture beyond this perceived limit. The fear of what lay beyond, fueled by these myths and tales of monstrous creatures, effectively curtailed exploration into the vastness of the Atlantic, profoundly shaping the geographical and political scope of the ancient world. For the Greeks and Romans, the pillars were not just a navigational marker, They were a sacred boundary, a threshold between the world of order and the chaos of the deep, a place where human and divine power intersected. The geological formation of the Strait of Gibraltar itself is a story of immense natural forces, a dramatic testament to the Earth's dynamic past that provides a tangible counterpoint to the myths. The strait is, in fact, a relatively young geological feature, having opened and closed multiple times over millions of years due to tectonic plate movements. The most dramatic event was the Messinian salinity crisis around 5.9 to 5.3 million years ago, when the Strait of Gibraltar closed, causing the Mediterranean Sea to largely dry up, becoming a vast hypersaline basin. Then, about 5.3 million years ago, the strait dramatically reopened, leading to the Zanclean Flood, a cataclysmic event where the Atlantic Ocean poured through the newly formed gateway, refilling the Mediterranean in a geologically instantaneous deluge. This natural history, though unknown to the ancients, formed the stage for their myths, providing the monumental, cliff-faced gateway that would become the Pillars. The ongoing tectonic activity in the region, responsible for the uplift of the mountains that form the Pillars, continues to shape this narrow passage, a dynamic process that has always influenced navigation. The strong currents and often treacherous weather conditions within the strait, a result of the differing water levels and salinities of the Atlantic and Mediterranean, were very real dangers that would have reinforced the ancient mariners' sense of awe and apprehension when attempting to pass beyond Hercules' supposed warning. Perhaps the most tantalizing and controversial aspect of the Pillars of Hercules is their enduring connection to the legend of Atlantis. Plato, in his dialogues Timaeus and Critias, explicitly states that the mighty empire of Atlantis was located beyond the Pillars of Hercules. This geographical marker immediately places the lost continent in the Atlantic Ocean, sparking centuries of debate and countless expeditions. For proponents of a literal Atlantis, the Pillars serve as the crucial key, the definitive geographical clue that validates Plato's account. If Atlantis existed, they argue, it must have been in the vast ocean west of this legendary gateway. This interpretation transforms the Pillars from a mere symbolic boundary into a literal threshold, leading to a hidden, lost world. It fuels the imagination with visions of a technologically advanced civilization located somewhere beneath the Atlantic, perhaps hinting at a time when the Earth's geography was different, or when ancient mariners possessed unknown methods for crossing vast oceans. This idea creates a cascade of questions. Were the Pillars truly the entrance to a lost continent? Did the Atlanteans navigate these waters? And did the mythical catastrophe that engulfed their island kingdom occur in this very oceanic expanse, just beyond the perceived edge of human reach? However, the interpretation of beyond the Pillars of Hercules is far from universally accepted and often forms the crux of the debate between those who believe in a literal Atlantis and those who view it as a philosophical allegory. Critics argue that beyond the Pillars might have been a generic ancient term for any distant, unknown land to the west, rather than a precise geographical instruction. For cultures centered around the Mediterranean, any land beyond the Strait of Gibraltar would have simply been beyond the Pillars. Furthermore, Plato was writing centuries after the supposed existence of Atlantis, and his geographical references might have been more symbolic than literal, designed to evoke a sense of immense distance and antiquity rather than to provide coordinates for a treasure hunt. The very ambiguity of the phrase has allowed for countless theories about Atlantis's location, stretching from the obvious Atlantic to places as diverse as the Caribbean, Ireland, and even Antarctica. Despite the lack of definitive historical or archaeological evidence for Atlantis existing precisely where Plato placed it, the Pillars of Hercules remain inextricably linked to the legend, continually drawing dreamers and researchers to peer westward into the vast ocean, forever seeking the ruins of a lost world just beyond the ancient boundary. They serve as a powerful metaphor for humanity's insatiable drive to explore the unknown, to push beyond perceived limits, and to unravel the deepest mysteries hidden just beyond the edge of our understanding. From the natural boundaries shaped by myth and geology, our journey now takes a dramatic shift, not to an ancient city or a man-made structure, but to a natural wonder in Indonesia that holds a profound and unsettling mystery, Kawah Putih, or White Crater. Located in West Java, this striking volcanic lake is renowned for its surreal, ever-changing turquoise and greenish hues, a breathtaking spectacle painted by the high concentrations of sulfur and other minerals in its waters. While a natural geological formation, Kawah Putih harbors a mysterious past deeply intertwined with local lore and the rumored ruins of an ancient temple. Imagine standing at the edge of this ethereal lake, the air thick with the scent of sulfur, surrounded by a landscape that feels almost otherworldly, knowing that beneath its acidic, churning waters, or perhaps near its mist-shrouded shores, whispers of a vanished community or sacred site persist. This unique blend of natural beauty and profound mystery makes Kawah Putih a truly captivating ruin, not because of its visible structures, but because of the powerful legends and subtle traces of human activity that hint at a deeper, unexplained history veiled by toxic fumes and time. The enigma of Kawah Putih is deeply rooted in the unique geological conditions that shaped it, giving rise to its otherworldly appearance and its haunted reputation. This volcanic lake sits within the crater of Mount Patuha, an active stratovolcano. The vivid, shifting colors of the water are a direct result of the highly acute pH level, which hovers around 0.5 to 1.5, making it intensely acidic along with the mixture of sulfur, iron, and other mineral concentrations. The constant release of volcanic gases, primarily sulfur dioxide and hydrogen sulfide, fills the air with a pungent, often overwhelming aroma. These toxic fumes, while contributing to the lake's ethereal beauty, also create a hostile environment, making prolonged human presence dangerous without proper ventilation or masks. It is these very conditions that fuel the local legends of Kawah Putih being a cursed or forbidden place. For centuries, folklore recounted that no birds would ever fly over the lake, and animals avoided its shores, a chilling indication of the invisible danger lurking in its beautiful yet deadly atmosphere. This powerful combination of stunning visuals and an inherent sense of peril creates an almost palpable aura of mystery, suggesting a place where the veil between the natural and the supernatural is thin, a space too dangerous for ordinary life, but perhaps a magnet for ritual or spiritual endeavor in ancient times. The heart of Kawah Putih's mystery, however, lies in the persistent local beliefs and whispers of ancient ruins, a vanished community or a temple, purportedly lying beneath its acidic waters or hidden within the dense foliage near its shores. While no definitive archaeological evidence has been publicly presented to substantiate these claims, the legends themselves are deeply embedded in the local consciousness. They speak of a time when people lived in or around this seemingly inhospitable environment, perhaps drawn by the unique resources of the volcano, or perhaps establishing a sacred site where they believed the volatile forces of nature held immense spiritual power. Some versions of the lore suggest that an ancient temple once stood on the banks of the lake, now submerged, its secrets guarded by the corrosive waters and the ever-present toxic mists. Others hint at a community that was somehow consumed by a volcanic event or simply vanished due to the increasingly hostile environment, leaving only fragmented memories and the compelling idea of a lost civilization. These stories, passed down through generations, contribute significantly to Kawah Putih's mystical reputation, transforming a geological marvel into a place steeped in human history and unanswered questions. The very act of imagining a thriving community or a sacred space in such a dangerous locale adds a layer of dramatic irony and profound human endeavor to the site, suggesting a people who either defied the warnings of nature or were ultimately overwhelmed by its power. While concrete archaeological findings remain elusive, the subtle traces of human activity hinted at by these legends invite deeper speculation about Kawah Puteh's unexplained history. What compelled ancient peoples to interact with such a hazardous environment? Was it a source of valuable minerals like sulfur, which has been historically used for medicinal purposes, gunpowder, or dyes? Or was it its very danger that made it sacred, a place where offerings were made to appease powerful deities associated with the volcanic forces? The absence of easily accessible ruins, whether due to submergence, burial by volcanic ash, or simply the destructive power of the acidic environment, only deepens the mystery. It challenges archaeologists to consider alternative methods of investigation, perhaps employing underwater remote sensing or subtle geochemical analysis to find any lingering imprints of human presence. Kawah Puteh, therefore, stands as a unique kind of ruin, a natural landscape so powerful and unique that it inspired enduring legends of human endeavor and catastrophic loss. It encapsulates the profound human fascination with places of extreme natural power, the yearning to connect with ancient narratives, and the persistent belief that even the most desolate and dangerous landscapes can hold the echoes of forgotten civilizations, their stories whispered through the mists and the ever-changing hues of its mysterious crater lake. From the tantalizing mysteries of Kawah Puteh, our journey returns to the remote, windswept landscapes of Rapa Nui or Easter Island, where we previously marveled at the colossal Moai statues that dot its coastline. While those monumental figures themselves pose immense questions, there's a distinct and even more profound enigma nestled within the island's heart, the quarry of Rono Raraku. This isn't just a place where stones were cut. It's a haunting, open-air workshop, a geological womb from which nearly all the island's Moai were born, and where hundreds more lie abandoned in various stages of completion. Imagine a volcanic crater, its slopes scarred with the outlines of giant faces, where figures emerge directly from the bedrock, some still connected to the earth, others toppled over, as if frozen mid-journey or struck down by an unseen force. Rono Raraku is a graveyard of dreams, a silent testament to a monumental undertaking that abruptly ceased, leaving behind a profound archaeological puzzle that offers tantalizing clues while simultaneously deepening the mystery of Moai production and the ultimate fate of the Rapa Nui civilization. The sheer volume of unfinished Moai at Rono Raraku is staggering, presenting one of archaeology's most captivating riddles. Within the quarry walls and scattered on the slopes leading away from it, over 400 statues remain, some just rough outlines barely separated from the volcanic tuff, others almost fully carved, ready to be detached and transported. Why were so many left unfinished? What cataclysmic event or series of events caused the sudden, almost instantaneous halt to carving? It's as if the carvers simply dropped their tools and walked away, never to return. This abrupt cessation of work is often linked to the wider societal collapse of the Rapa Nui people, which occurred sometime before European contact. One prominent theory suggests that the relentless demand for resources, particularly timber for moving the statues and fuel, led to massive deforestation, triggering widespread environmental degradation. As the island's resources dwindled, intertribal warfare intensified, leading to social breakdown, famine, and ultimately, the complete disruption of monumental stone carving. The unfinished Moai in the quarry would then be direct evidence of this societal unraveling, a testament to a civilization in crisis, unable to sustain the immense labor and organization required for such ambitious projects. The logistics of carving these monolithic figures, even within the quarry, were incredibly demanding, highlighting the ingenuity and constraints of the ancient Rapa Nui. The Moai were carved directly from the soft, easily worked volcanic tuff found only at Rono Raraku, using only harder basalt or obsidian tools. Imagine teams of carvers using hand axes and chisels made from brittle volcanic rock, meticulously chipping away at the massive figures for months or even years. Experimental archaeology has shown that while the tuff is relatively soft, the sheer volume of stone to be removed and the constant need to resharpen or replace tools would have been an incredibly labor-intensive process. The carvers would first outline the moai on the rock face, then slowly separate it from the bedrock on 3 sides, leaving the back attached. Once the front and sides were largely complete, the figure would be meticulously detached from the rock and then maneuvered to a standing position at the base of the quarry, ready for final detailing and transport. The marks of their labor, the grooves left by their tools, are still visible on the quarry walls, offering a haunting glimpse into the daily lives of these ancient artisans. The quarry itself serves as a detailed instruction manual etched in stone, showcasing every stage of the moai creation process from initial outline to near completion before the work suddenly stopped. The abandoned moai found scattered outside the quarry, some toppled face down, others lying broken on ancient transport roads, further deepen the mystery. These figures, already detached from the bedrock, were clearly in the process of being moved when they were abandoned. This provides tangible evidence of the transport methods, hinting at the use of ropes and sledges and the immense human effort involved. The numerous broken statues suggest not only accidents during transport, but also the deliberate toppling of moai during periods of intense social upheaval, a form of iconoclasm where rival clans destroyed each other's ancestral symbols. The very act of abandoning such colossal projects, both in the quarry and during transport, represents a profound and desperate shift in the Rapa Nui society. It signifies a point where the immense communal effort, the deeply ingrained cultural and religious imperative to create these figures, was no longer sustainable or desirable. The reasons for this shift are complex, likely involving a combination of environmental degradation due to deforestation for timber and agricultural expansion, leading to resource scarcity and famine. This, in turn, escalated intertribal conflicts and a breakdown of social order, ultimately leading to the Huri Moai, or statue toppling era, where the very symbols of their power were violently brought down. Ultimately, Rano Raraku is more than just a quarry. It's a powerful and poignant historical record of a society pushed to its breaking point. The hundreds of silent, unfinished giants lying within its slopes and scattered across its paths tell a story of immense ambition, unparalleled collective effort, and a tragic decline. It forces us to confront questions about the sustainability of human endeavors, the delicate balance between resource consumption and environmental preservation, and the devastating consequences of societal breakdown. The quarry stands as a stark, enduring monument to a culture that reached for the heavens with their monumental figures, only to find their efforts tragically curtailed, leaving a legacy of unanswered questions etched into the very stone of their island home. From the haunting workshops of Easter Island, our final stop on this epic journey takes us not to a man-made ruin, but to a colossally enigmatic natural formation in the vast, arid expanse of Mauritania, the Richat Structure, famously dubbed the Eye of the Sahara. This isn't a complex built by ancient hands, but a geological marvel so immense it's clearly visible from space, a swirling bullseye of concentric circles almost 50 kilometers in diameter. For decades, its perfectly circular form led many to believe it was the scar of a massive meteorite impact, a cosmic collision that left an indelible mark on our planet. However, exhaustive geological studies have since debunked this extraterrestrial origin, revealing it instead as a deeply eroded domed structure, a geological anticline where layers of rock, uplifted and then gradually stripped away by millennia of wind and water, have created this mesmerizing onion-like pattern. Despite the scientific explanation for its formation, the Richat Structure's hypnotic regularity and sheer scale continue to mystify and inspire a range of intriguing, sometimes outlandish, theories, making it one of Earth's greatest natural puzzles. The geological explanation for the Richat structure, while scientifically sound, can hardly diminish its profound visual impact or its lingering air of mystery. Imagine a giant blister on the Earth's crust, formed by the slow upwelling of molten rock that didn't quite breach the surface. This immense pressure pushed the overlying sedimentary rock layers upwards, creating a dome. Over hundreds of millions of years, relentless erosion, primarily by wind and water, meticulously stripped away the top layers of this dome. Because the rock strata were of varying hardness, they eroded at different rates, exposing the harder, more resistant layers in concentric rings, while the softer layers eroded away, forming valleys. This process created the distinctive bull's eye pattern we see today, a stunning cross-section of geological history laid bare for all to observe. Within these rings, evidence of fault lines and hydrothermal activity further supports its classification as a structural dome. Even with this clear scientific understanding, the sheer perfection of its circularity and the vastness of its scale, easily encompassing a major city within its rings, continues to be a source of wonder. How precise were the forces that shaped it? Why did the erosion process create such an almost flawless circle? The questions, though now purely geological, still speak to the immense, subtle power of our planet's natural processes, capable of sculpting forms that rival the most deliberate human design. Beyond the geological facts, the Richat structure has become a beacon for persistent alternative theories, most notably its increasingly popular, and indeed captivating, association with the lost city of Atlantis. This connection stems directly from Plato's ancient descriptions of Atlantis in his dialogues, Timaeus and Critias. Plato described Atlantis as a city arranged in concentric circles of land and water, surrounded by a series of canals built around a central island. When viewed from above, the Richat structure bears a striking, almost uncanny resemblance to this very description. Its multiple concentric rings of rock could be interpreted as Plato's rings of land, with the valleys between them representing water-filled canals. Furthermore, the Richat structure is located in a region that, while now an arid desert, was significantly wetter in ancient times, with evidence of ancient rivers and lakes, making the idea of an ancient, water-rich civilization more plausible. Advocates for this theory also point to the two large springs found within the inner rings of the Richat structure, suggesting they could have been the water sources Plato mentioned. While this hypothesis directly conflicts with the prevailing scientific consensus that Atlantis was a philosophical allegory, not a literal city, and that the Richat structure is a purely natural formation, the visual similarity is so compelling that it continues to fuel a fervent desire to see this geological wonder as the key to one of history's greatest mythical puzzles. The enduring fascination with the Richat structure, whether viewed through a scientific or a speculative lens, underscores its unique place among Earth's greatest puzzles. From a geological perspective, it prompts questions about the precise mechanisms and timescales involved in its formation, offering a powerful case study for understanding continental erosion and structural geology. Its sheer size and isolation make it a prime target for remote sensing and satellite observation, offering new insights into large-scale geological processes. From a more human-centric perspective, it embodies the irresistible allure of patterns and the human tendency to find meaning in the unexpected. Its perfect circularity, whether naturally occurring or not, triggers an almost primal sense of wonder, inviting us to project our myths and theories onto its grand scale. The Eye of the Sahara, therefore, remains a captivating enigma, a spectacular natural ruin that continues to challenge both scientific understanding and the boundaries of human imagination, constantly reminding us that even in the vastness of our planet and the clarity of scientific explanation, there are still features that can inspire profound awe and endless speculation about the nature of our world and the tales it silently holds. From the ancient echoes of Göbekli Tepe, that undeniable proof of monumental construction by hunter-gatherers, to the cosmic gaze of the Richat Structure, that baffling eye of the Sahara visible from space, we've journeyed through 30 of the world's most mysterious ruins. Each site, whether a colossal earthwork in Louisiana, a complex rock-cut city in Jordan, or a submerged enigma off the coast of Japan, stands as a silent witness to a past we are only just beginning to comprehend, challenging nearly everything we thought we knew about history, technology, and the astonishing capabilities of ancient civilizations. They are not merely collections of crumbling stones or fading inscriptions. These ruins are profound architectural and archaeological questions etched into the very landscape of our planet, forcing us to constantly re-evaluate the timelines of human ingenuity, social organization, and our ancestors' deep connection to the cosmos. They remind us that the Earth holds countless secrets, waiting to be unearthed and understood by future generations, or perhaps to forever remain shrouded in the captivating mists of mystery, enduring enigmas that continue to inspire awe and curiosity. These remarkable places, from the astronomical alignments of Newgrange to the unyielding engineering of Puma Punku, collectively paint a picture of a human past far richer, more complex, and often more technologically advanced than conventional narratives often allow. They push us to consider the possibility of lost knowledge, of ingenious solutions to profound challenges that have long since faded from our collective memory. They highlight the incredible resilience of ancient peoples, their capacity for monumental effort, and their deep spiritual and scientific understandings of the world around them, often expressed through the very structures they left behind. Whether they were built for defense, worship, astronomical observation, or simply as a testament to power and belief, each ruin we've explored provides a tantalizing glimpse into a forgotten chapter of the human story, inviting us to ponder the profound questions about who we are, where we came from, and what lessons these silent guardians from the past might still hold for our future. Now, as our journey through these 30 incredible mysteries comes to an end, we turn the question back to you. Which of these ruins do you find most compelling? Was it the inexplicable precision of the Great Pyramid, the chilling demise of Ubar, or perhaps the alien-like beauty of Nan Madol that captured your imagination the most? Share your thoughts and theories in the comments below. We love hearing your perspectives and engaging with your insights. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into the unexplained and found these ancient puzzles as fascinating as we do, please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next journey into the most perplexing secrets of history and beyond.